been a long day out in the tractor, and I reckon I've earned myself a bit of a chinwag about
First Fleet.
I'm a midwife and I've been catching babies all day, but I really need to catch up on...
Numero uno, Fleet.
Well, everyone's agreed to drop everything because it's 3 o'clock. And Hamish and Andy have declared today's topic is...
Hear ye, hear ye. First Fleet.
This is Hamish and Andy's Happy Hour.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Andy.
Hamish and Andy with you, and boy, are we excited about today, Ham.
Oh, Ando.
It's been months.
It's been months. Look, it's been the whole year.
Yeah.
We wanted to buy an island. It
Yeah.
seemed ridiculous. Then we found an island
cheap
about
one.
5Ks off the coast of Queensland.
Yeah.
Not a huge island, but God, it's got a lot of character and a lot of heart.
Exactly.
We got the island. We went to the island a few months ago and we checked it out. Very difficult to get to, very beautiful once you're there.
We already loved it, but to fall more in love,
It's a piece of our heart now.
which is just amazing, Ham.
A piece of our heart
you
is
hear
on it.
girls say that in The Bachelor,
Yep.
and they don't truly mean it. But we
This was
actually-
real.
Yeah, this was real.
We probably spent more time with the island than the girls get to spend with the Bachelor. We're only on it for one night.
Oh. And what a night it was.
Sorry, people can see me there, but I just dipped my glasses down.
Yeah.
I'm wearing sunnies, and I winked at the guys in here after I made that excellent joke. And it was a beautiful night that we spent on the island, and now it's the chance for the people to properly visit the People's Island.
Absolutely.
Not for us, not our island.
No.
We're just the Lord Mayors,
Yeah,
King Mayors.
King Mayors.
We are taking a First Fleet to the island. Now, it obviously can't be as big as the original First Fleet, but we got to squeeze it out before the end of the year.
Happy hour! Hamish and Andy with you, and you're hearing that music because, yes, today we decide to colonise an island that we bought on behalf of the people. It is the People's Island. It's an exciting day, Ham, because we've talked about perhaps heading back there, perhaps taking a First Fleet, and we can confirm it's happening now.
This is sort of like when Captain Cook came back to England and went, hey,
Yeah.
got to speak to the king. And they went, he's busy. So he came out the next day. He goes, yo, king, found a country.
I said, hang on, are
The
you the
guy
new
goes,
jester? I'm interviewing jesters
Who are
at the
you?
moment. I'm
Oh,
interviewing-
sorry, I haven't looked at my schedule today. A lot of confusion.
Yeah.
It took a while for them
That-
to get their act together.
Yeah.
But eventually the king went, all right, hang on, everyone shut up.
Yep.
I'm having a thought. Why don't we take a bunch of boats back and make this a whole country? And everyone just went, he's the best. Even though heaps of other countries were doing that, you
Yeah.
had to do that back in those days because he was the king.
There was a 2-year turnaround, actually, between when he said that and they actually got back.
So we're smashing him,
So
aren't
we're
we?
killing them. We're better than the Brits yet again.
We've put this together in nigh on 5 months.
But if you've just joined the show, welcome. You do own an island, and it happened back on April 4th.
2014. What have you got for us, Hoff?
Mate, for $49,995, I've got a little island for you.
Oh! Now we're talking!
Oh,
Sold!
back off! We're not sold. Now, whereabouts is it?
Mate, it's off Rockhampton. Do you know where Rockhampton
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yes. It's in Queensland.
We
yeah.
love Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rock Vegas, mate. It's the centre of the universe here.
That's how it started, talking to our island real estate agent, Richard Van Hoff.
And in the space since then, we realised we couldn't actually buy the island. We've got a 99-year lease on it from the Queensland government for well under that price.
Yes.
May I just say? I mean, we're going year to year.
Now, Haim, King George
Yes.
the Third, back in the day, he announced the details
Yep.
of the colonisation and the
This
First
is-
Fleet. We can say the date, can't we?
Yeah. What? Tell everyone, Ando.
Well, I think.
I mean, I know, but you tell them.
Well, Haim, the plan is to set air sail and
Yes.
then fly people there.
Yep.
On the 13th of November
Yep.
and colonise on the 14th of November.
14th of November.
Exactly 1 month.
St. People's Day.
Send people. So we'll all gather together. Now, I mean, that's an announcement
That will be the First Fleet.
that the king probably should have put in his.
Well, the thing is, the king didn't. The king wasn't allowed to announce the date when they were going to land because
He
it
had
was
no
a bit
idea.
up in the air. It was a 6-month voyage for the First Fleet. Here, though, this is the fascinating bit. You look at the parallels between the First Fleet of 1788 and our First Fleet.
Okay.
And the speech that the king made almost exactly applies to our situation now.
Right.
I'm going to read you the 4 most important points.
So you have King George III
is King-
of England.
This is the speech he made in 1777 when they're announcing the voyage.
Yep.
Before the First Fleet got here in 1788.
Okay.
We shall send a First Fleet, not because it is easy, but because it is hard.
Okay. I think
JFK later stole that
Okay,
to the moon.
okay, sure.
But that works for us.
Yeah.
We shall send 7 members on the First Fleet to start a colony, each with the ability of taking a +1. And that's like us.
Yes.
We're giving away
Well,
7 spots and you can take a +1.
They must have later upgraded because a lot more convicts did end up going.
Interesting. This is his original speech.
Yeah, right.
So maybe then the bean
Captain
counters-
Phillip went, hey...
Oh, sorry, we're going to need more than 7 with +1s.
I think we can fit a few more.
Do you mind if I pick some of the guys? No, anyway, that was the original speech.
Okay.
Third major point that also is very much like our fleet. Currently, the journey is unsponsored, but we'd be more than happy to look at attaching a sponsor if one steps forth to lighten the burden of gold coins this will require. Send me a carrier pigeon if interested. So originally, the First Fleet was unsponsored.
Sponsored. And who came on in the end?
Omo.
Oh, I thought it was
That's why the
artist
sails were so
Scott
white.
Now, Omo, you've got one for free. But that's a great example of what could happen to your company.
I'd like if we could specifically request people. I mean, we'd be some real things that would help would be like airlines, sausage makers, barbecue suppliers,
Yes,
beer companies, that realm,
board shorts, probably. I mean,
thongs guys. Really, just anything that could like portaloos would be really handy if you're a portaloo company. Ando, fourth bit that's exactly the same as our
right,
vote.
there's one more.
And the best bit is, we're taking convicts to do all the work, and we can totally whip them and feed them slops, and there's no legal ramifications, because this is the 1780s, baby! Ha ha ha!
It's the happy hour.
That bit doesn't apply to us. We will have to look after a convict.
It's the happy hour. Hamish and Andy. Happy hour, everyone, and ahoy there, because that music denotes that we are about to talk about the First Fleet. Yes, we bought an island. We put the steps to buying an island back in April 4th it was, Ham, where we first talked to our island real estate agent. We managed to then get a 100-year lease off the Queensland government to have our own island. We call it the People's Island because you own it as well.
Takes time to get an island, Ando, but
Yep.
we've got it secured now, and we need to head back there.
It's off the coast of Rockhampton. We're deciding to go back in around about 3.5 weeks' time, and we want to colonise it, not unlike the First Fleet back in the day when the King of England said, go out there and do your best. And we did.
Come on, guys.
And what a country.
Have fun. Now, listen, it's obviously not as big as Australia.
Yeah.
You would have noticed it on a map.
Yep.
It's smaller than Australia. That's why we're taking a slightly smaller First Fleet. We're taking 14
It can
people.
be as good a country.
It certainly can, Ando. Certainly, it needs variety. 7 spots are available on the First Fleet. Each of those has a +1.
Okay.
So we know of those 7 positions that we want a convict, just to keep the flavour right of the First Fleet. But their +1 must be a police officer or a law enforcement agent to keep the convict in line, because we've got other stuff to do.
It's true. So we decided a convict. We also decided on an Enigma. That's the other person we want. Do they get a +1, the Enigma?
The Enigma,
I don't think they should.
no, they do. Oh, you don't want them to have a +1.
Well, I think it's pretty kind of... It's not that
They get a
enigmatic
+1,
if
but they don't have to tell us who it is.
Anyway, let's put the Enigma aside because that's going to be a harder conversation.
We'll sort out the Enigma next week, because the trouble with the Enigma is the more you know about them, the less of an enigma they are.
Yes.
That's what makes them exciting.
But on the First Fleet, if you'd like to come along, we'd love you to come and apply at hamishandy.com. Why don't we make this as a rule today, Ham, that we decide on our convict by Friday?
Let's get the convict locked off and locked up and chained to the plane, ready to go, and
Now-
then build the fleet around them.
Now, how bad do we want their misdemeanour to be? I mean, I don't want it to be a Con Air type situation.
We don't want Cyrus the Virus, no.
No, where we have someone in an orange jumpsuit, handcuffed, having to take them out to the island.
No, we don't want anyone in like a Hannibal trolley either.
No.
So you
So-
can't have killed and
anyone?
eaten someone.
Yep, that's a
I
good
just
rule.
think you can't have even killed someone.
Yeah.
I think what we were talking about at early days was just general bread theft or baked goods theft.
How about this?
It can be, you can have stolen a pie.
A couple of candidates came in. I won't say how old this person is, but they stole a set of bowling shoes after going temping bowling.
That's exactly the level. And we'd like you to wear them.
And they wore them to music festivals.
Hilarious.
Okay.
But also illegal.
And And that was a female.
But do they have access to a law enforcement person?
Maybe not.
To come along with them.
And there's a female called Jodie. Noel on the other side, Ham,
Yep.
is a policeman, and he's nominating a convict.
Oh, who is it?
His mate, Tim.
Is it irregular for a policeman to be friends with a crook?
Well, he said it's a bit weird, but he said Tim lost his licence and then got caught driving without a licence.
Okay.
And the Australian courts let him off lightly, so I think it would make sense for him to be sent to an island.
So he hasn't done any jail time?
No, and then Noel said he'd be happy to take the Caddo Nine Tails to keep him in line, which is
a whipping.
A whip they had with knots in it, where they would whip convicts back in the day.
It's not something you hear on radio enough these days, I don't think, of public flogging. It certainly is kind of thing like if you tune in at 3:10.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've got someone in a radio voice going, hey, in the next half hour, we've got the whipping coming up, we've got the public flogging.
Yeah.
You know, you're listening.
Yeah.
Gets you sticking around, doesn't it?
So
If we run it past management and we get the whipping approved, that certainly will push that further towards the top of the pile.
I can't see that being a problem with health and safety here. No.
I can see you pick up the confidential section of the paper and it says public flogging on FM radio show
What a
does
hoot.
not cause any alarm. What a hoot. Hamish and Andy successfully produce family-friendly radio. Once again, no complaints from us, cry the public.
Anyway, that gives you a gauge of what we're looking at. A convict by Friday.
We're warming up on the idea.
Happy hour, Hamish and Andy with you. And our first fleet, Ham. I mean, it's exciting because tomorrow we're giving away the first spot on it. I talk of our return to the People's Island, an island that we purchased on behalf of this show. And anyone that listens, you own an island.
We're going back, Ando, and we're taking the people with us on a first fleet.
Yep.
Aye, aye, Cap'n, is the kind of thing you'd be saying as I tell you all the details of the journey.
I won't be, and we haven't discussed that yet, who the captain might be.
Play on, says the captain.
I will on my own, of my own accord.
Could there be a mutiny just between us before the first fleet even set sail?
I will of my own accord press on.
Permission granted from the captain.
Not required. Hey,
Play on.
We are giving away a spot as a convict tomorrow. We felt that we wanted to stick true to the original first fleet. They were made up of nearly
Had hundreds of convicts.
Yes, nearly 70% convicts.
We thought we needed at least one. Here's the thing is, 7 people will be chosen busting on the first fleet. Each gets to take a friend. So there's 14 spots in total. Yeah. But we need everyone to have a useful job because our island, if you've been to the website, hamishandy.com, and actually seen the People's Island, you know, it's 5 or 6 k's off the coast of Queensland. It's remote. We need skilled people out there. Now, we know convictory is not a skill.
No.
But that's one we're willing to grant for the fun of the trip and for historical significance.
But the convict plus one must be a police officer or someone that can take charge.
At the moment, because we've only decided on convict as one of the positions to be filled, that's the only one that comes with a stipulation for who your plus one might be.
Yes.
And you know, say we pick Baker for another one, your plus one could be juggler.
Yeah.
And that's not someone we'd normally take. But hey, if they've snuck in under your plus one, that's fine.
But we're not saying the Baker's plus one has to be a juggler.
Baker's plus one could be anyone who happens to be a juggler. Sure, juggle some bread. I mean, combine your skills.
Hey, we were discussing how much of a criminal do we want?
Yep.
We don't want any murderers, we decided.
No, because, look, I mean, not to peek too far behind the curtain, but we're all probably going to have to stay in Rockhampton the night before. And, you know, we'd love it to be, we're responsible for you on that journey, and then we'll go to the island the next day. So, yeah, we'd love it to be super low-level crime, but you still have to have committed one.
Katie's written in, and she says, is it criminal enough to have a criminal in my family?
Back in the old days, it was.
She said back in the day, her ancestor was transported on the original First Fleet.
She's descended from convict.
Yeah, one that came out in 1788. He was sentenced to 7 years in the new colony for the arson of a haystack.
Burn a haystack, did he?
Yeah, and she said...
hedge burning, but ye oldie.
Said, unlike the stories of poor people who got caught stealing loaves of bread, my ancestor was just a right old scallywag who just wanted to piss off his neighbour.
just a hay mongrel.
I would say, before you put your hand up, Katie, I think we do want an actual criminal, but What do you, Hames, see the criminal doing out there?
Right, okay. So before you nominate yourself as convict, because hang on, when are we? We'll pick it by tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
So you can still submit tonight, hamishandy.com, but we will choose the convict tomorrow.
Yeah.
I very much see the convict as having to accept the fact that they're the lowest member of the food chain. And that probably means eating slops.
Yep.
Now, I assume...
We'll get nice slops made up.
We'll get you gourmet slops made up. We'll get a chef to make slops. But you're just going to have to accept that from the time this journey starts, you'll be on nothing but slops 3 times a day. And we might slop it to you in a wooden bowl.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Look, and it's probably going to be pureed nice food, but it's going to be in a little barrel that we have, and it will be labelled convict slops. And everyone else will probably be having barbecues and eggs and bacon and stuff like that.
While you have your convict slops. Now,
geez, we might be eating nothing but Macca's if they are the sponsor. Because we say again, this trip remains unsponsored. So, really, that's something else that's open
if there's
for
a
people
slops
to email
company. Perhaps a slops company.
Perhaps you're Australia's premier slops company and you'd like to be the sub-sponsor for our convict. We do have positions open to sponsor a convict.
The happy hour.
Pal, if you want, the convict to have to eat dog food.
Already on this show, Ham, we've effected a sting, an international sting. But things get even more exciting today because we're about to give away the first position, the first official position in the First Fleet.
It's exciting, Ando, for us, but it's exciting for the person that's about to win this position, but also they should dampen their excitement a little bit because the very first position to go on our First Fleet to the People's Island
is our return voyage to an island that we purchased earlier in the year to try and colonise it.
You'll be going in the role of convict. We already know that all you're allowed to eat for the entire voyage is slops. Now, we will bring a barrel of medically tested, we're not going to give you poison slops.
And top-of-the-range slops.
Top-of-the-range slops. Yeah. We're probably going to get a few roast dinners and whiz them up. And then you will be just fed purely breakfast, lunch and dinner. You'll be eating those slops. We'll keep it refrigerated and we'll make sure that you can't get salmonella. Yeah. But suck it. You're the convict. You have to eat slops. We also never mentioned, but we might quickly bring it up now, the idea of having them in chains of some type. Loose chains.
Loose chains.
But it would be a bit weird to have a free convict.
Happy hour, Hamish and Andy with you. In a couple of weeks' time, we are heading back on towards the People's Island, Ham. It's a voyage. It'll be our first fleet where we're going to take many people that are applying at the moment. Go to hamishandy.com if you want to come along. It's a small island off the coast of Rockhampton of Australia. We own it. You own it.
Everyone listening to the show owns it. We've only been there once to check it out. It was bloody spectacular. We can't wait to get back, Ando. 7 positions are available. Each of those positions has a +1 on the first fleet. You've got to go to hamishandy.com. Tell us what position you would like to fill. You can tell us what you are. Maybe you're a bugler. Maybe you're a ferret trapper.
I mean, tough for you to get bugler. I could do that.
Ooh, I could well, then I could ferret trap. So don't enter with either of those. But tell us why you should be on it. What's your position? Now, Endo, the only position we knew ahead of time that we wanted was a convict because we wanted to keep it
and maybe
authentic.
Enigma. I mean,
Enigmas, the Enigma submissions are coming in. They're very difficult to read, some of them, but that's what Enigmas are.
But you're right. A convict is what we thought. We thought we'd give it a nod to the original First Fleet when there were many convicts coming out from Britain towards Australia to colonise it. And we've been casting the net far and wide for convicts. Thank you very much for sending in. But can I say, stealing a bit of candy off your younger brother wasn't bad. It wasn't.
We want a bad ass, but we don't want a bad whole body.
No.
So it's sort of like, where do we draw the line of how criminal this person is? We received a submission that certainly got our attention. Almost to the other end of the scale. We're like, well, maybe this person can't quite come along. We're just running our final checks now on them. They join us on the line. Shannon, are you there?
Yeah, gotcha.
Shannon, your crime was supply of firearms to an unlicensed person. Now, we just need to double check that you're not helping, like ISIS or someone like that. Like, I mean, how...
Well, it says here, Ham, that it was a Section 10 in court. There was no jail time. But it still looks...
No, definitely not.
It still looks a bit dicey. And so, Shannon, we just want to find out, what exactly was the firearm that you provided to someone else?
Well, the firearm was a proper firearm, but contrary to it being to ISIS, it was actually to a couple of friends of mine who are currently serving Australian military. And I just didn't really realise that the fact that they're allowed to carry firearms and use them in their, obviously, the line of their work,
Yep.
they're not allowed to use them not in the line of their work. So
Right.
we were just out shooting a couple of rabbits.
Oh, you just gave a gun to a friend who's in the army. Obviously, they can use guns. Ando, it's now time
Wow.
to see if it passes muster. Is
Yeah.
that a gentle enough crime?
Let me take a look at it.
I decree Shannon a member of the First Fleet.
Wow.
Bill is worth the money.
Can you come back? Shannon, you are going to be a member of the First Fleet. I understand your +1 is ex-army, so they're going to be the soldier in charge of you. Do you realise,
that's
though,
correct.
that you'll be only having slops?
Sorry, say again?
You're only going to be allowed to eat slops, Shannon.
I could probably cope with that. That's all right.
And you might be chained.
That change could be fun.
Some chaining will happen. Shannon, you are our convict on the First Fleet. You'll be going to the People's Island with us, and your mate, who's ex-army, has to take care of you.
How much was the bell?
Bell was $250.
Bell. We've wasted money on the bell.
I still have to use it 6 more times. There's still 6 more
No,
positions to give away.
But we do have our first Fleet convict.
Got our
Thank you-
convict.
Thank you very much.
Lock
Shannon.
him in the hold now.
It's the happy hour.
3, 2, 1.
I'm a pro DJ and I've been spinning the decks like mad, but I haven't had a chance to spin a yarn about.
Parents intervening.
At school, we've been learning a lot of pointless dribble. Finally, I get to learn about...
I'll take it from here, son. Parents intervening.
Well, everyone's agreed to drop everything because it's 3 o'clock. And Hamish and Andy have declared today's topic is...
I'll take it from here, grandson. It's
This is Hamish and Andy's Happy Hour.
trying to do her parent.
Yes.
It was the mum, then it was the grandpa. A wonderful layered intro.
3 generations of intervening.
It's just gone 3 o'clock, and already you're thinking.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hamish and Andy with you for another happy hour. Yes, we're talking about parents intervening, Ham, because, I haven't disclosed my story to you, but
Your parents have barged in on something.
my mum and dad, yes, they're intervening in a small form. It's probably a bit passive-aggressive. They're trying to make their
I think I know this one.
You think you know it?
I think I know it. Do I know it?
I don't think I've told you yet.
Oh, does DJ Havana Brown have a competition out where she does a home visit to the person that buys the most albums and they've bought 25,000 of her albums?
No, that's not it.
So they can have you strung up on the wall?
That is not
and
it.
then fling her at you?
But they're certainly trying to make...
That's not it.
What? No, that's certainly not what it's
Jeez,
from.
you think you know Marg and Mike Lee, and then they go and don't do something like that.
They're certainly trying to make their opinion known in a subtle-ish, according to them, way.
Gotcha.
But before we get to that, Ham, their First Fleet.
First Fleet Ando, here is the bell that we ring when someone is announced to come with us.
The bell's...
Well, I rang it then because we're not using it today. But I think you'll agree that the costs per ring is coming down.
We are heading back.
So once again, that will not be used today.
Happy hour, Hamish and Andy with you. And Ham, in about 2.5 weeks' time, we're going to be heading back north to the island we purchased, or started the process of purchasing back in April. We purchased an island on behalf of the people. We want to colonise it. We've already got our convict,
We do have our convict down it.
a soldier to take care of him.
The island, I think we've been saying 5Ks. I think it's about 20Ks off the coast of Queensland. Look, we always fly out to a neighbouring island and then we row across.
We say always, we've been there once.
That's the way we like to go to our island.
We've been there
So,
once.
look, it's a hassle to get to. The closest landfall, sort of Rockhampton-ish. We want to take everyone across there, and we're bloody excited. It's happening in a few weeks' time. And we appointed the convict on Friday's show, and his +1 is ex-military,
Yep.
and he has to look after him. Convict can only eat slops.
Yeah.
There will be some chaining of the convict involved. That's so far all we know. I'm getting so excited about this voyage that I thought, you know what? Maybe it's worth reading up a bit on the actual First Fleet.
Yes.
Because we've been throwing a lot of Captain Cook around. Captain Cook did this.
Well, Captain Cook wasn't there.
No, it was
Captain Phillips.
Captain Phillip. Cook was 17 years beforehand. So by the time the First Fleet came, it was under Phillip. There's been a lot of I'm Captain Cook, you're Captain Cook. None of us are Captain Cook. Here's the great thing.
Captain Cook is staying at home going, I've been there, can't be bothered going
Probably
back.
not going to go back, guys. It's bloody lovely, but I don't have a few years up my sleeve. So they land in Sydney Cove on the 26th of Jan. Here's the actual timeline for the following 24 hours as far as I can piece it together. 26th of January, they hop off. Few of the officers, they row ashore. They have a few drinks, and they drink to the good health of the colony.
Right.
They essentially just got a little hammered, I think. Because then, the 27th, convicts are unloaded. So they've got all the way... All the officers have got off and had a ball, and then woken up in the morning going, oh, probably should go and get the connies. You go get them. So they're all sitting there going, guys, we've been at sea for 6 months. We can hear you.
Yeah.
We can hear you guys having a party out there. I know we're convicts, but may we please come ashore? And I never thought I'd say this, but I beg of you to put me in chains and allow me to do hard labour. So maybe I'm thinking, so when we go ashore first and have a ball.
Yeah, as in
and then
everyone.
we leave Shannon on the boat. And then we're like, oh, we forgot the convict.
Now, did they leave any soldier or anyone on, or is it just the convicts?
They probably would have still been locked up, I think.
Yeah.
A few months later, they went, oh, look, obviously we need some law and order in the settlement. And so the first court was convened.
Wow.
Obviously with Governor Phillip being the judge. 2 people were sorted out. One guy, I think, was chucked in chains. Another guy was banished to one of the small islands in Sydney Harbour.
Just to sit there by himself.
Chained up, for crimes against the colony. Because they were running pretty short on food at this stage.
If his family still has that land today, though.
I think it was Goat Island, too. You could pop a small house on it. Okay. How's this? He was in the First Fleet for stealing bread. Okay, so he's got 7 months at sea. He's probably sentenced to about 7 years in hard labour. He stole bread again. So that was Thomas Hill. So he was pinched for stealing bread again. Maybe hoping they'd send him back. There was a level of exasperation in the colony of just going, mate,
come on.
What do we have to do to deter you from stealing bread? We put you in a dark room for 6 months at sea. Eating slops.
He loves bread.
This guy, he's a carbaholic. He's definitely not an Atkins. So then they were like, well, where do we send him? Antarctica? Can't keep sending him around the world. So that's why they put him out on the island with specifically no bread. So here's what I'm thinking. Just because
was
bread
was that handed down in the court?
Yeah, and you know what? You can have
no bread.
You can have a wrap. You're not having bread. So I reckon here's what we do in the first week. You and I have a bagel or a French stick or something, right? That is to be the colony's loaf.
Okay.
And it's the convict's job to pinch it. Now, if he can pinch it, he is freed from his chains.
Wow.
But we'll obviously guard it fairly heavily.
Sure. And that's once we arrive?
Once we arrive, and then, maybe that's sort of the feast we have at the end of the show when we're on the island. Yeah. And if it remains unpinched, then we win.
Okay, it's the happy hour. Happy hour, Hamish and Andy with you. In a few weeks' time, we're going to head back to the People's Island for the first Fleet Ham. This is a chance for us to colonise an island that we bought on behalf of the people some months ago, and we've only decided on a convict so far that's coming, a soldier to make sure that they're kept in order.
I believe, should we give away another seat today?
We will.
Another seat on the first fleet before the end of the hour. We'll be giving away, Ando, as yet to a profession or professions unknown. Could be a banker. Could be a tanker.
Yes, exactly. Someone who drive an oil tank.
That's it. Or drives a military tank.
Yeah.
Although then it would mean we had a lot of military guys on the trip so far and not many civilians. But that's coming up before the end of the show. We wanted to think of a way, Ando, even though we're taking the First Fleet over and we're trying to get a selection of society, a cross-section to take with us, because it is the People's Island, we also wanted a way to sort of go, look, for all the people that can't be there on the First Fleet, how do they get their moment and feeling of ownership on the First Fleet? And we thought, if you register online through the website, hamishandy.com, if you're really hung up about this, if you're not satisfied with the fact that you just know in your heart it's your island, if you need something more, sure, give us your name, put it on the registry.
Yep, the official registry.
We'll stand on the top of the mountain on the island and we'll read it out. Thinking we get 1 dozen to 6 dozen names.
Yes. Similar to, I suppose, where the Statue of Liberty is, out there on that island, where they've got the registry of all the immigrants to America. I mean, that's what we thought would be nice. That you
I had no idea about that.
An opportunity for people to be, have their moment in the sun. Obviously, all those names have been sent off to the Queensland government hand, but we were going to read them out. too many have come in to perhaps read them all out. You and I had this discussion. Yes.
I mean, I'm tired thinking about it. You guys will be tired even just thinking about it. You don't have to do it.
This was our discussion a little while ago.
I'm going to sit at the top and we're going to say all the names.
5,000 names.
And I'll bring a few beers.
Can I do the speech program on the computer?
What, just have the...
Have the robot say it.
Well, again, anyone can...
Fine, I'll do it.
Okay. There's since been far more than 5,000 names that have come in.
What are we at?
I think we're closer to 10, Mark.
I didn't even know there were that many people in Australia. 10,000 legitimate names?
Yeah, well, there's a few McSquirrelsons and stuff in there.
Yeah.
But again...
And they're my favourite ones to read out.
But then, again, I've only glanced at it and I was thinking... To go through them all and find only real ones would just be as long as sitting there and reading them all out anyway.
Would it be nice to have them all printed out and we take a photo of us holding the book with all the names?
No, I feel like we owe a readout of some sorts. But I wanted to revisit the computer idea, Ham.
Would you allow it?
I would like to allow it if we felt that the computer was realistic enough.
Okay. Well, I suppose a fair test to do would be for you to play me a voice off the computer. And I tell you if I think it's automated or real.
Okay, I'll give you the first one.
I sure like being inside this fancy computer.
That sounds like a real person to me.
I don't think so. I don't think we'd get away with that. All right, let me change the person on the computer. How about this one?
Isn't it nice to have a computer that will talk to you?
That's beautiful. Have you seen the Spike Jonze film Her?
No, she's a bit too sexy, isn't she?
Very possible to fall in love with that operating system.
Okay, well, let's not go with her. What about this one?
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Isn't it nice to have a computer that will talk to you?
That's more robotic.
I mean, I can understand it. It sounds like a person to me, Andy.
What about this one?
Ando, I'm really trying to say yes here.
I know,
because
but
it means we don't have to read out 10,000 names manually.
Most people recognize me by my voice.
Is that Stephen Hawking's one?
That is a guy called a system voice called Alex. Now, to me,
that's awesome.
The thing is, that's at normal speed. I think we'd want to go a bit quicker.
We want to go very, very fast. So do we have to sit there while the computer reads out all the names?
I think so.
That's a nice touch.
What about if we said, here are the A's, and he just does all the A's, and then we have a cheers, and then the
So
B.
we're sitting there, I assume as the sun sets on the island, at the top of the hill, we're sitting there in a couple of deck chairs, and we've got a computer in the middle of us just reading out all the names.
Would people be happy with this pace?
Aaron Pancho, Aaron Payne, Aaron Pohl, Aaron Argelli, Aaron Smith, Abby Godwin Smith, Abby Wilcox, Abby Ferguson, Abigail Lillo, Abigail Rabigo, Abel Ashpath Manathan, Abraham Thornbrook Hemingway.
I think Abby Ferguson will be happy with that. I'm fine with that.
I think we put it up, and similar to when you got to protest a bar, you know how you got to get a number of petition people. We put that up as what we're doing. We're going to have a few beers and listen to the computer yell them out.
We're still filming this, aren't we?
Yeah.
No one will watch this video.
No.
It's going to be 3 hours of us sitting there drinking beers, listening to a computer say names. But we said we would.
And we're going to do it.
And we're going to loophole it.
Happy hour, Hamish and Andy with you, and we are talking the First Fleet, everyone. We head back to an island that we bought, cheapest island in Australia, you'd say.
Ka-ching. Now it's the most expensive, because if you want it, it's going to cost you.
Yes, we head back there in a few weeks, and we're taking a First Fleet. We want skilled people. We'll get ourselves a convict, a soldier to take care of them. Every person on the First Fleet, like the original one back in 1777, or 1787, is they got a +1, I think.
Everyone got a +1?
Yep.
That was allowed to come later.
Yes, and they all met at the Rockhampton pub. Before they,
the similarities are stunning, and that's very much the tactic that we'll be going for, Rando. But
shall I present my guy first?
Okay, well, we said to everyone, look...
Some great candidates.
The First Fleet was too predictable. You know, what did you have? Like a judge, a priest, a couple of hundo convicts, a couple of farmers, a carpenter.
Yeah.
Snore, colonise me another country.
Yeah.
We said that doesn't really represent society.
These days,
society's a lot more varied.
Yep.
So if we're going to take a cross-section of the population, you know, we've got our convict. Yep. That's already checked off. Who have you got, Ando?
We've got ourselves a farmer now. I know you said...
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, that's an accident. I didn't obviously know who you're nominating, and I apologise. I will listen to all in good faith. I'm interested. A farmer, you say?
But his +1 is a cook.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, look, let's face it. We're going to be outside. We will be exposed to the element. We need people that can farm and cook, obviously.
He's suggesting here fresh produce. You know?
Sure.
Roaming flocks of sheep, herds of bison he's got at home.
What, he's bringing them?
Pens of pigs. Well, if we select him.
Can't bring a pig pen. We've got to fly out there by light plane.
Fields of golden barley.
I think he's more just trying to do a poem about his house.
Anyway, he said, obviously the convict's only allowed to eat slops.
Yep.
He said,
that would be handy
my
for
plus one as a cook.
She can do slops.
Can do slops and feed many hungry souls. I think a farmer ham with a cook. I mean, the barley for the beer.
Look, it takes care of a huge practical side of things,
it?
doesn't it? But my person is also very practical.
Okay.
They are a bagpiper. Not just a bagpiper,
Yeah.
Ando. They are a bagpiper and a magician.
Okay.
They're a magical bagpiper.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing kids' magic for 3 to 4 years, doing shows. We could have the very first magic show on the island.
This is crazy because...
Magical piper.
There's a guy, what's his name?
Jason.
He's playing what I perceive to be one of the bottom 3 instruments anyone could bother listening to.
Oh, I think
And
that's a little rough.
He's in the bottom 2 for entertainers. Probably probably it goes mimes as the worst, and then magicians in after that.
Ando, he's a magical piper.
Yeah.
We have a national anthem for the island.
Yes.
Now, I don't want you playing your silly trumpet again. I would love to have someone pipe the anthem.
Sure. While pulling bunnies
How
out.
amazing is that? And then he can just saw us all in half and we go home.
So we're out of the,
Oh, by the way, his girlfriend, who would be his plus one, is a face painter. So we're all running around dressed. We're all pirates and lions and cowboys
with no food.
With no food.
and no one to cook it.
And no farmer,
Yeah.
but with to the dulcet tones of a bagpipe.
Yep.
As we're wondering,
Just say how many years experience he has
as we're
on the
wondering
pipes.
how the hell he just poured that glass of water in his hat and then put his hat on and it's dry.
Well, Haim, I think we both know which direction we should go here. If you want to step across there to the box, when you ring the bell, it does decree that another person is going to come. Yeah.
Hear ye, hear ye! The official First Fleet Selection Committee have made their decision.
Yep.
Congratulations to the magical piper, Jason. You're going to Ireland.
Jason.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Jason, did you expect to be beating out Daniel then? I mean, a farmer and a cook. Did you expect to beat them out?
Oh, I had a bit of an inkling.
Yeah, right. I mean, no confidence.
Yeah.
Now, look, what type of magic do you do?
Well, I do mainly close-up, but
great.
I also do a lot of kids' shows and that. I
Yep.
work for a few different children's entertainment companies.
Yeah,
Fantastic. And now, mate, obviously, I don't know if you've been watching Big Brother, but over the past few weeks, Lawson, the magician, has perhaps given magicians a bad name.
Yeah.
You're bringing a girlfriend. Do you swear to be faithful to her on the island?
Of course.
Oh, nicely done.
Time to rebuild magicians' profiles. The magical piper is coming to the island.
That's so cool.
We'll see you there, mate. We'll see you in Rockhampton before we head away.
Sweet.
It's the Happy Hour, Hamish and Andy. Happy Hour, Hamish and Andy with you. And, of course, the First Fleet's coming up, Ham, where we will return to the People's Island, an island we purchased a few months back, and we vowed to return. We did the Captain Cook part. We've discovered it.
Yep.
We vowed to return with people fit enough to start a brilliant colony.
Well, since it's the People's Island, Nando, since, I mean, a bit different to Captain Cook, we purchased this in advance.
Yeah.
He was sort of, legally a bit of a thief. But we went, look, it's the smallest island in Australia. Wasn't expensive. Wasn't that fancy. We got a 99-year lease on it.
Yep.
But when we saw it, we fell in love with it because it touched our heart. We thought, look, if this is the People's Island, we must bring a cross-section of the people back.
Yeah.
We must bring back a First Fleet that's indicative of the way society is today. And that's why, amongst the people on the fleet, we have a convict, but for a lesser crime. We have a magical bagpiper. Guy that plays the bagpipes, he's also a magician.
Exactly.
Whose plus one is a face painter. These are real people with real lives.
We've got a soldier. Is in charge of the convict.
He's looking after the convict.
HamishNanny.com, if you'd like to come along, you do have to fill out an application as just emailing us and telling us what position and what good thing could you bring to the community.
I mean, you can be anything. You can be a glass blower.
Yep.
And then we have to assess if we need that on the island. I mean, technically we need everything.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing on the island.
But a glass...
Unless you're a shrub, then we probably wouldn't accept you because it's one of the few things the island provides.
A glass blower would be tough to get through, though, because, if you're starting out a colony...
True, and that's
our
job.
Basic things you might need first before glass blowing.
It's a luxury, isn't
For
it?
instance...
Bespoke glass is a luxury.
for instance, magicians.
Bagpiping. You're going to need entertainment. You're going to need someone to accompany the anthem. So that makes perfect sense.
Haim, this is an incredible application. And again, keep them coming in at hamishandandy.com. Hey, guys, I don't know if you're still taking applications for the People's Island. We are. But I'd like to put myself forward as the piker.
Okay.
Okay. The piker is a guy that says he's going, and you set aside a seat on the boat or plane or both, and you get there on the day, and he just doesn't show up with no calls, excuses, or anything. I'm sure on the original Voyage to Australia, there were plenty of people that did.
There would have been a few late pullouts.
A few pikers. Could I please have the official role of piker?
What's his name?
Peter Peterson.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ando. Because Peter Peterson's come along at an interesting time, because we just reconfirmed this morning before the show. We're having a chat. One of the other positions that we're taking is the Enigma.
Yes.
And we're having a chat about the Enigma's +1. And we did confirm that the Enigma shouldn't get a +1 because that makes them less enigmatic. To not know anything, we don't even want to know who they're friends with, the Enigma. So we thought, okay, the Enigma doesn't get a +1, which does technically leave one other seat, which I would be happy to give to the piker. Hear ye, hear ye. The piker has been appointed a seat on the First Fleet under the stern conditions that he does not show.
It's the happy hour. Happy hour, Hamish and Andy with you. Haim, our First Fleet we're compiling. It feels pretty exciting, doesn't it?
We go pretty soon, Ando.
Yep.
The People's Island is a very, very small and difficult to get to island off Queensland. But Ando and I, a few months ago, organised for that to become the property of everyone that listens to this show. We have a 99-year lease on it.
You own an island.
You own an island, guys. And whilst we would love to take all of you, A, can't afford it, B, couldn't fit you. Because it's not a massive island, but we need to take a cross-section of society. That's why we're taking our First Fleet.
So they said at the set of the original First Fleet, we can't take everyone.
Want to take you guys?
We need to leave some people
Who's
at home.
going to run England?
Yeah.
Queenie, you stay here?
Yes.
Okay.
And so at the moment, Ham, we're just trying to decipher who are the best people to start this colony with.
Yeah, let's run through who we've got at the moment. We did honour the original First Fleet, but we've got a convict.
Yep.
And their +1 had to be either a policeman or someone in the military to look after them. Those guys are locked in.
Yep.
We have a magical bagpiper. He's a bagpiper, he's also a magician.
And his +1's a face painter.
So that brings a fun element to it. I think it's his girlfriend.
From what I could gather, so far, again, they had that on the First Fleet. There was definitely a magical bagpiper and a face painter.
And his +1 was a face painter. The Enigma. We said we wanted an Enigma to shake things up. Still, as yet, I'm not locked in, but that's very enigmatic.
That is right. He's at loose end still.
He's a loose end.
Well
the Enigma does not get a +1.
We've locked in a piker.
But we've locked in a piker.
Someone who won't come.
His name's Peter, and he definitely won't be coming.
Yes.
But we locked him in.
Yes, you have to reserve a seat for him, and he's going to show up. Not show up, sorry.
Under no circumstances can he show up.
And he's also not going to let us know he's not coming.
But it's time, Ando, for maybe another seat to be filled. Now, I would like to use my vote here. I would like to use my power to put forth this suggestion.
Are you putting it forth or are you locking it in?
I'm putting it forth with my vote.
Okay.
Which means for you to challenge it, you would have to pull out a move I am not aware of.
Okay, sure.
But I mean, I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah.
But at the moment, you'd say this is...
Does my vote... Sorry, this is an interesting voting system. Would my vote be equal to the weight of yours?
No, because it's a first in, more powerful vote situation.
So with every additional vote, it diminishes the power of it.
So my vote's, say, worth 100 because I got in first.
Mine's 80.
And yours might be an 80. So you'd sway me, but you might not dislodge my vote.
Sure.
Here, it comes from a guy called Nathan. He goes, you're going to have a convict and you're going to a place where there's no internet and no connection to the outside world. That's true. You can't get phone reception.
Yeah.
People might freak out. I'm the man for the job. I'm a psychologist. I'm also a landscape digital artist, so I can do a 3D rendering of the island while we're there.
Nice, yeah.
So at this stage in my brain, I was going, okay, not bad. This is where the +1 comes in. He also lays down, he says, my +1 would be a magician. Not just a guy that does card tricks, but a legitimate rabbit out of the hat magician.
No, we can't.
And we need to keep everyone entertained.
No.
Ando,
we've already got a magician.
Wouldn't it be amazing if the First Fleet had two magicians?
No, it wouldn't.
I say yes.
No,
I say Nathan, the psychologist who's bringing our second magician, has hereby been appointed to the ship.
This is...
Woo, yeah.
Come on board,
Awesome.
Nathan. Well done.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I knew I'd face some opposition from Ando because
Yep.
you're bringing another magician on the trip.
Is your magician female?
Male.
Okay.
Oh,
I just thought maybe
there's
there
smiles all round in the
Just thought there
studio.
may have been some
You
sweet.
can never have enough magicians.
If you've
never have
just
enough.
tuned in,
One too
Nathan
many.
and his friend the
It's
magician
like never having enough Ebola.
are
You
going
can.
with us to the People's Island. Andy just having a chat with Nathan there in the background, finalising some of the details. Andy's wrapped, Nathan's wrapped, his magician friend's wrapped. What's your magician friend's name, Nath?
Lachlan.
Lucky the magician.
So far-
Magical Lachlan.
So far, we've locked in
2 magicians.
two magicians. One of them a bagpipe player.
Great.
A convict and a soldier. All males. We need to even up the score a little bit.
Our
here.
face painter's female.
Good. Okay. We just need to. We can't just be.
All right, mate. Well, you can use your vote tomorrow to get some babes on board. Because I know that's where you're heading with
Doesn't
it.
have to
Well
be
done,
babes,
Nath.
Just a little bit. I mean, if we're going to colonise, you need to take an equal weight.
Nath, you're a psychologist. What's Andy going through right now?
Oh, he's not doing too well. He's stressing out.
He's stressing
He's
out.
trying to balance the fields a bit.
Yeah. Stressing out, I believe,
He
is a
feels
fairly
like you're
advanced.
dominating the room, the alpha male.
Yes, okay, he's lashing out. Maybe he feels cornered. Maybe he feels like he's not being heard.
What would you recommend then? What would you prescribe?
Magic.
Oh, I think you're going to have to give him one, maybe in the next one.
Yeah, we'll get to the next
yeah,
one. I
okay,
think a good magic trick would cheer Andy up, so we'll make sure we've got time for that on the day when we head out to the island.
It's the happy hour. Well done, Nate. Happy hour. Hamish and Andy with you. And, Hamish, it is time to announce another person. Or people, we should say, because they do get a +1, that will be joining us as we go to colonise the People's Island, an island we purchased, months ago, Ham, but we've got our first chance to go back there and
Who will it be, Ando?
start a new community.
Who will it be taking up 1 seat plus their +1?
Yep.
So 2 seats on our First Fleet ship.
Yep.
It's a boat. I mean, it's a plane.
Yeah.
We have to fly to a neighbouring island that's a very, very big island that has a grass landing strip. We fly it on a light plane, but from there, Ando, we
take
boat
voyage,
across the
yes.
treacherous 230-metre straight.
At high tide.
At high tide, because it's almost walkable at low tide.
Yeah.
We boat across and we set landfall on the island for only the second time to
Yeah.
our knowledge
Amazing.
that human beings have been on the island.
Yep. Now we're trying
Which
to...
really does raise the question of how did that iron mine get out there from the 1800s?
Hey, we're trying to gather people at the moment.
Let's do a quick roll call.
Yep.
If people haven't been listening, here's who we've got. We have a magical bagpiper. He's a magician that also plays the bagpipes. His +1 is his girlfriend, face painter.
Yep.
We've got another magician, because you can't have too many magicians,
I think you can.
coming with a psychologist.
Yes.
From there,
We've got a convict.
we've got a convict,
A soldier.
who's being guarded by a soldier. The Enigma,
Yeah, we
haven't really
Should get on that tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do the Enigma tomorrow. We do want an Enigma on the trip, but they don't get a +1 because that keeps them even more mysterious. Now, you've also,
Yeah.
I mean, have you got someone for today, or should I use my vote?
Well, I've got someone I'd like to put forward for sure.
Well, I've
But
got someone I would like to use my vote for.
Why is that? Like-
Because I just think they're a good choice.
Yeah, okay. I think we've got too many magicians, obviously.
No, we don't.
What? So we've got too many from my mind.
You can't, and this is also the First Fleet's motto. You cannot have too many magicians.
I don't think they had a single magician on there.
They had a bloody whole boat full, mate. It was like Pirates of Penzance.
There's been a great suggestion for a doctor, and I feel like if you are going to start a colony, someone to keep us alive is a must.
Oh, look, I think we're going to be fine. We're only out there for a day. Are you planning on running into any
Well,
medical?
no,
All right,
but-
keep that. Have a think about that while I launch this at you. You had a bit of a whinge the other day about how there weren't enough babes on the trip.
I didn't. I did not have a whinge about. There was no
Jack,
whinge.
do you have that audio?
No, there was no whinge.
Listen to this. We've got it. It's under whinge file doc.
Is your magician female?
Male.
Okay.
Oh,
I just thought maybe
there's
there
smiles
might-
all round in the
Just
studio.
thought there may have been some
You
sweet.
can never have enough magicians.
If you
never have enough.
just
Well, yeah,
How
that's because
dirty were you about the fact that that was
was
when we
a
found out the second magician was coming?
Yeah.
And you were bummed that it wasn't a babe magician.
No, I just
or a magician's assistant.
just something to divvy it up from the other magician.
Sure.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing is Daddy needs his ladies. I'm here at the Captain Andy
that's not
of
what
the
he's saying.
HMAS Babe Transport
you
needs some babes in chains.
You're mishearing.
Well, Ando, I can't put them in chains, but I have found girls for you. The perfect applicant came in from Sophie and her friend. They are both cheerleaders. Soph, how are you?
Oh, jeez.
I'm great, thank you.
I went back to the files I was sifting through. I've had thousands of entries for the first week, but I thought, look, if Andy's stamping his foot about there's not enough girls on the trip.
Well, if he's complaining about it, then we're happy to help.
I wasn't complaining.
Custom ordered 2 cheerleaders for Ando. Who do you cheer for, Soph?
I cheerlead for a club called Pure All Stars, and my friend Lucy cheerleads for a club called Outlaws.
I love cheerleading as a sport. Is it possible that we could have a small cheer, put together a custom cheer for the island?
Oh, sure, we can put something together.
God, this is really shaping up. Imagine 2 magicians,
over a doctor?
2 cheerleaders, no doctors, one enigma.
Oh,
So, you are coming on the first fleet. It's exactly what we need.
Thanks, guys. We can't wait.
That's a pleasure, Soph.
Absolutely.
Obviously, I was in your corner as well. We look forward to seeing you and Lucy.
This is huge.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys.
No
Okay,
worries,
thanks.
guys. Get the cheer happening for the. Let us know if you need a hand with like lyrics or whatever. If you have to teach us moves.
Imagine Captain Phillip went to King George of England at the time and has gone, here's who we're taking out. 2 magicians and some cheerleaders.
We said, Ando, we're taking a cross-section of society, and I firmly believe society falls firmly into 2 groups, magicians and cheerleaders, and that is who's coming.
It's the happy hour. Happy hour. Hamish and Andy with you. Next weekend, we're going to go back to the People's Island to colonise it with a first fleet. Fleet members have been applying, like they did back in the day, in the 1700s, online. And the best emails were looked at by King George.
And they were only selected if they represented an accurate cross-section of society.
Yeah. You mentioned a while ago that it'd be nice to have an enigma join us.
To mix things up, because everyone else has been appointed, and it's sort of been to do with their place in society or their profession or what they can bring to the voyage. Yeah. But I think you'll agree that all good nautical tales have someone on board that you don't really know what they're up to, the enigma.
Would you say Jack on the Titanic was an enigma?
Probably was. Certainly
to the upper class.
Yeah, Billy Zane saw him as an enigma. He often was, well, what's this kid up to?
Yeah.
Sneaking off to have steam sessions in the old time cars with my wife. And wasn't happy when he solved the enigma's puzzle.
So we're hoping for similar controversies from the
God,
enigma.
it'd be amazing if the enigma not stole a wife, but certainly was able to steam up a car.
Yeah. Through so many submissions, a lot of them people saying I'm the enigma. And
Which we immediately ruled out.
Yeah. Or like try and track me down and leaving a code for their phone number.
Yeah.
Generally, we couldn't be bothered.
Of all the things we've asked people to submit for on this show, this was by far the hardest thing we've ever done, because on one hand we were saying, look, don't be blatant.
Yeah.
Don't come out and just tell us you're an enigma. That's the least enigmatic thing you can do. So on the other hand, of course, people then got tricky. We're like, but remember, we're also lazy.
Yeah.
So how shall we find you? Where's the sweet spot?
But also, I feel like enigmas are normally not putting that much effort in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the Riddler in Batman.
Yes.
I don't think he's an enigma because he's
No,
too showy. He's too
You're
showy.
right. Yeah,
exactly.
he's more of a nerd.
Yeah, exactly.
He's an evil nerd.
So someone that's not putting a lot of effort in, but you still wonder about them.
It's the secret of life, isn't it? And really, it's like in the dating game. What do I have to do to be noticed without being showy?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't go up to people and say, "Hey, notice me," because it's an immediate turn-off.
And that's why we were impressed by Jordan Whitmore, Ham. Yeah. He sent in an application, not for himself, but his brother.
We have mentioned this guy on the show before, Ando, but we have to state here, no enigma ever beat this submission.
He said, here's his brother's characteristics. His brother's name's Michael, by the way. He said...
Which is quite enigmatic too, because it's a very common name.
Spends a lot of time in his room.
What's he doing in there?
Doesn't listen to the show.
What?
Yeah, okay, so that's tough.
But that's awesome.
My friends and family say he's a textbook enigma.
That's the kind of thing that an enigma would have said about them.
I truthfully believe that he's just a maverick who base jumps off social bounds.
Cool.
But he has a pet snake. It's called 13.
That's so mysterious.
And then he has got a photo of his brother Michael, who's on a beach wearing a fedora and is cracking a whip.
And with a purple shirt. And it looks like a cold day at a surf beach. What? And unless that's the snake he's swinging around his head. No, it is a whip. And he's in bare feet. And he's swinging the whip around his head with his right hand. And his left hand's in his pocket. Why is he so casual cracking a whip at a surf beach on a cold day?
Exactly.
It's the most enchanting picture. And if we could have the Enigma crack his whip on our beach, that would make our trip. So here's what we're prepared to do. The best thing is we can't get in touch with him. No details were left.
We've tried to even get in touch with Jordan.
Jordan's gone quiet.
He's gone quiet as well.
But that doesn't change the fact that Michael Whitmore is officially the Enigma. He has won a prize on a show he doesn't listen to. We have no evidence he even listens to the radio. So we want to record the following and send it out on like a ham radio signal somewhere and just hope it gets to him. Michael Whitmore, you are the Enigma. You have been chosen to represent enigmatic people on the First Fleet trip to the People's Island. Get to Rockhampton on the day before we do the leave for the island. We're going to do a show at a pub.
Yep. So
make your way there
next week. By Thursday next week, you have to be in the pub. Yep. We won't say which pub, but you'll vibe.
You'll
it out.
find it out.
Yeah.
Hitchhike probably if you need to, because that's quite a thing that an Enigma would do. Yeah. Upon meeting us in the pub, wear the outfit you have on in the picture. Meet us in the pub. We'll reimburse you for your travel to that day, and you will come with us to the People's Island. We have chosen the Enigma. God, I hope he turns up.
I think I give him close to a 0% chance. So we walk into the pub and just see a guy with a whip.
It would make my day.
Yeah, there you go. And we'll reimburse all your travel costs up until that point, Michael.
And $20 per diems for sandwiches and stuff.
It's the happy hour. Happy hour. Hamish and Andy with you for CommBank. And Haim, I mean, I'm pretty pumped about this. We're finally going back to the People's Island. It was nice to buy an island, but it's nicer to be on it.
It's nicer to be on it. And we're really finding that we don't get to it that much. Thank God it was
waste of money.
Thank God it was literally almost for free. We've got a 99-year lease.
Yep.
But I think we'll get bang for buck when we go back. for the People's Island with the First Fleet, because this is our chance to take a cross-section of society. Now, when you think of society, what do you think? Well, we've got convicts.
Yep.
Yes, we'll take a convict. Yeah. We also have police officers. Yeah. Yes, we'll take a police officer. We have a lot of magicians in society. That's fine. We're taking 2 of those to the island.
One better play the bagpipe.
Yes, we're taking a piper. Yeah. A lot of face painters in society. Mm-hmm. Don't worry, we've got a face painter. Yeah. What about psychologists?
Yep.
Yes, we've got a psychologist. How about cheerleaders? Yes, 2 cheerleaders. So we've really ticked off a lot of the people. What about an Enigma? The offer's there. The offer's there to the Enigma. If he turns up in true Enigma style, then we'll reimburse him for his travel expenses.
Hey, today, I mean, it would be fair to say that you've jumped the gun in a fair few in the past. I mean, I probably wasn't back. I'm very happy that they're here now. I don't want any bad blood on the island, but I wasn't backing 2 magicians.
You know who I'm like? The guy from Moneyball. And everyone's like, you're crazy, don't pick this team, don't pick this team.
You're not Brad Pitt,
mate. What happens? We win the bloody premiership.
Well, we both agree on this, don't we?
Yeah. This is
a fellow called Gavin.
This is a no-brainer.
And he's offering something that you and I were worried about.
Yeah.
We tossed around different ideas and how we can all feel a bit more uniform when we're out there, like a team. Yeah. And Gavin's got the answer. Gavin, welcome.
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, so well. Gavin,
I mean, where do you see yourself? Explain to everyone your proposition for the People's Island.
Well, with the uniforms, I think for the First Fleet, based on what we've got, I don't think we're going to be much of a First Fleet, be able to settle. So as long as we look good, at least we can fake it till we make it.
Yes.
You're bloody right.
So, Gavin, you are in charge of uniforms. That's what you're putting your hand up to do. Do you have the ability to be able to make uniforms?
Yes. I can make anything that you like. I can basically make for the magicians, for obviously the captain. Obviously, he wants to look good because if we're getting out there and
so you said for the magician, what does a magician's uniform look like? Are we talking like?
Well, he'd have to have a cape and a rabbit or something, wouldn't
he? Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. So, Gavin, what's your business?
My business is Inferno Sports, so we do sublimated uniforms, which means we can do anything.
Sports uniforms.
Sports uniforms, but we can put any. like anything on an
Any
actual
design.
uniform. So any number of logos, we can make it look
Yes.
like.
Wow.
We can dress up the captain. So if we run into a pirate ship and they're looking through the telescope, they
possible.
won't attack us because at least we look good.
Yeah. This makes so much... So what we're talking about here is a sports version of First Fleet uniforms.
So
it's sort of like a cross between a futuristic sports team, but also the 1700s.
Yeah, but no, we'll look like the 1700s. But yeah, we'll
But
look
it's
like
made
a
of
fut-
modern materials.
Yeah, made of modern materials. so-
Parachute pants and stuff.
Yeah, so we won't melt to death.
So with modern day comfort.
Yeah.
That's good.
I like it because it's convict casual.
What did you see, Gavin, for the convicts outfit?
Well, you got to have butcher stripes, don't you?
Oh, good idea. Yeah.
nice.
You got to have the butcher stripes, and you'll have to have a ball and chain on there, and you probably have to have the word convict on there so he knows what he is.
Yeah, on the back for sure. Look, Gavin, to be honest, what's the only other thing I want to just double check is with the captain's outfits.
Yeah.
What is it made from? Some sort of futuristic dry fit material? Is it?
Yeah, well, it will be like a dry fit material, so you will remain cool.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, with the heat up here, up this way, you'll be comfortable as well.
I only got one thing more to say to you, Gav.
You're in! You're coming
Hey! Thank you.
Well done, Gavin. Well, now we've got to decide on the last few spots and get it. I mean, Gavin, it's going to be a pretty quick turnaround. How quickly can you make outfits?
It'll take me about a week to make them, but obviously I'll have to get the size right. Otherwise, you'll be.
This is very true.
Now, just jump into the workshop. Now, you jump on the sewing machine. We'll call through the info as we get it.
All right, thanks, boys.
Thank you very
mate.
much, Gavin. We didn't even ask you about his +1, but I suppose it doesn't matter. I mean, if you're bringing that much,
Sometimes
to a team,
people are so good that their +1 can just. +1's probably just the guy carrying all the uniforms. He's
Exactly.
probably a wardrobe assistant.
It's the happy hour. Yes, thanks, Jack. Haim, we are taking a first fleet. We've only got one spot to fill, and a +1. But we feel like we've nailed down the cross-section of society. This is when we go back to colonise an island. We bought the cheapest island we could find in Australia. It's off the coast of Rockhampton.
Yeah.
We head back there next week, we hope.
Bloody difficult to get to, the People's Island. That's why you're best coming with the first fleet.
Yeah.
You'll get lost otherwise.
Yeah, start a family out there rather than try and take your family there.
Exactly. And you and I, we have the navigational skills to get there.
Yeah.
And we have the passengers. Let's just reel off a few of the example members of society we've got. We have a psychologist in case we go bananas on the 4-minute voyage from the neighbouring island.
Drinking too much salt water or something.
We go crazy and try and leap overboard, or I start imagining you're a rotisserie chicken because we've been on the boat for almost 10 minutes without snacks. So we've got a psychologist. We have 2 magicians, which accurately represents the fact that roughly 1/7 of society are magicians. We have a bagpiper, we've got a face painter.
Yeah, a convict.
2
we've got a crook.
cheerleaders.
I've got a crook, and we've got a soldier to take care of the convict.
Now, don't worry. When you tune in and you hear our shows from the People's Island, the convict will be in chains the whole time.
Yeah, don't fear.
Casual chains, loose chains,
Yeah.
soft-fitting chains, but the convict knows the drill.
Yeah.
They'll also be fed nothing but slops.
But the best quality slops we can find.
Got to get a good chef to make them, but those are the rules of the convict.
Hey, I feel like you've dominated a little bit with regards to picking the first fleet.
I
And
can't
it's meant
help
to
but
be-
agree. I look back, I was listening back to some of the other shows this morning, and I'm grabbing the bell a lot and saying who's coming.
Well, it's meant to be a bit of a joint thing, and a perfect person has come forth.
Says you. The bell's on my side of the desk, so we'll see if they make it.
A journalist. Focus. This person's studying journalism.
Yeah.
Focusing on crime reporting. And we will have a convict out there. And in fact, you've challenged the convict to steal a loaf of bread while we're out there.
That's the convict's goal, yeah.
We would need someone to be reporting what's going on out there.
I think
also does the photography.
We could do a very, very good job of doing the reporting.
How?
And do we want to give away the scoops?
Do we have? How are we going to do it? Broadcasting?
Well, I mean,
On-
we'll
live
keep
on
a
the
journal.
day?
Keep a journal
sure.
and then read it out on air.
But then what if we don't? I mean, it'd be nice.
What if they're from the Daily Mail or something and they just make it up and it's just scandals?
Right, so you're saying no to... Well,
I mean, you can't trust
If
them.
you've got someone more useful than a
I'm
journal...
glad you asked, Andy. Now, you might remember when we went out to inspect the island shortly after we'd secured the 99-year lease from the Queensland government, we were told on the phone by someone that had recently seen the island that there were 2 cows on the island.
Yes, we couldn't find them when we were out there.
So we get out there to the island all those months ago. We're having a walk around in our suits with our machetes and no cows. We scoured the island, there's no cows. I found fossilised cow poo. So there were ghost cows out there, but
the rock.
there weren't actually cows.
Yep.
How do we solve this problem? I didn't think we could. Until I read one of the submissions from a gorgeous lady named Trudy. She lists a lot of
farmer, is she?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, she's a mother, so she's a lady of many skills.
Okay.
She's you know, she's been listening to the show for a while. She's got adult kids, I think.
Yeah.
But more importantly, she has a cow suit. She included this as a bit of a throwaway at the end. She goes, I've got a cow suit too. I'm not sure how relevant it is, just saying. I'll tell you how relevant it is, Trudy. She joins us on the line. How are you, Trude?
I'm good, thank you.
Trudy, still got the cow suit?
I do.
Not sure how relevant it is. How would you like to bloody come on the First Fleet as the cow?
I would love to.
You're the cow!
I'm the cow!
We've got a cow! We're going with livestock.
Fantastic.
Now, Hamish,
welcome!
Livestock normally...
Thank you.
Trudy, welcome aboard, yes.
Amusing.
Normally livestock travel in a different section to everyone. I mean,
Not our cow. She's first class. You eat solid foods, Trudy. You're eating better than the convict.
Excellent.
Who are your plus one be, Trudy?
It would be my brother, Damien.
All right.
Can he be the farmer?
He could be a farmer.
If he
grew up on a farm.
Great.
Yeah,
Well, if he dresses as a farmer.
He dresses as a farmer. You're the cow. Now, obviously, it's probably good. It's quite a hot suit.
Yeah, it's very hot suit.
On the way over, you've got permission to have the cow head off.
Yeah.
But then for the whole time on the island, I think it would be nice if you were fully cowed up.
Are there trees I could hide behind to quickly whip the head off and have a drink of water?
There's lovers shrub.
Beautiful, Trudy. We'll note out the final details of how hot you're allowed to be and how much water you're allowed to drink.
As Captain Phillips said on his First Fleet expedition, I want you to wear the cow suit the whole time. Thank you so much, Trude.
It's the happy hour.
3, 2, 1.
So I'm waxing down me board this arvo, and I realise I haven't even thought about
Fleet Week.
Chickens, I've been knitting doilies all bloody day. It's high time I catch up on...
It'd be Fleet Week. Part.
Well, everyone's agreed to drop everything because it's 3 o'clock. And Hamish and Andy have declared today's topic is...
Ocean themed. Yeah.
Oh, I know, but we're not pirates.
This is Hamish and Andy's Happy Hour.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hamish and Andy with you. Sorry, I thought you just put a Tic Tac in your mouth and washed it down with a coffee, but
no, it was a vitamin.
Okay.
It was a vitamin because why, Endo?
Yeah, why?
Today's such a huge show.
I mean,
I don't feel like I can do it drug-free. You've caught me with a multivitamin.
They say Tic Tacs, you can either swirl them around your mouth or you can crunch them. No one said
it with a coffee.
Just swallow them down whole like a pill.
I'm a gulper. I gulp them down.
Hey,
huge show.
It is Fleet Week, everyone. The First Fleet. Come Wednesday, we'll be in Rockhampton at a pub where we're invited the people that we're compiling our First Fleet from to meet us there at the pub before we head across to the People's Island, an island we purchased.
We want the pub show to be very much like we're down on the docks.
Yes.
We've got the few bales of wool.
Yeah.
Oh, old Mrs. McGibbons has come down. She hasn't left the house in 10 years.
Yeah, but she wanted to bid us farewell. She's shaking a handkerchief.
What an exciting journey.
Or a neckerchief.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. McGibbons. Take this picture of my daughter. Not necessary, I'm married, but I'll give it to Andy. It's actually my son. Oh, well, Mrs. McGibbons, you have lost your marbles, but it's nice of you to have come down.
So that's exactly how we want the Rockhampton show to feel like.
That's the feel for Thursday's, Wednesday show.
But before all that,
No, I've got some very important business to take up with you, Ando. Yeah. People might have been listening on Friday when I gave Andy a sales mission. Yeah. I run a company that sells Tim and Maddox autographs.
Yes.
It's a very successful business, and it connects fans of Tim and Maddox autograph with his autograph.
Yeah.
That's our mission statement. I gave you, Ando, did I give you 10?
Yeah, 10.
I gave you 10 precious pieces of merchandise to take to the races on the weekend to sell to celebrities.
Spring Racing Carnival
at the
edition.
Huge inflated festival price of $20.
Yep.
Now, I want a sales report. Today's Fleet Week. If you've just tuned in, this week We will be going to the People's Island. It's your island too. Everyone that listens to the show, we do own this island. We're taking the First Fleet. The island is located off the coast of Queensland. I think about 20 kilometres off the coast, which is about 19 nautical kilometres. No one really knows what a nautical kilometre is, including sailors. But we won't give up their secret. Let's just say it's 19 nautical k's off the coast. But Ando, the fleet's been picked. We finalised the fleet last week.
I think they also say nautical miles.
They do. That's why there's no nautical kilometres. It's about 1 billion nautical centimetres off the coast. It's a shame the fleet's been picked because two notable mentions. People are still, maybe they're not listening to every single show, and that's fine. People have got busy lives. You can't always be in the car at the same time. People are still sort of sending in their applications, even though this week will be there. And of course, we had to have picked our fleet. The only person, when we've picked our Enigma, we just don't know if they'll turn up on the day. But
Unsure,
that's the Enigma. Quick one here. This is from Kieran. He just said, look, I would have been great as a pirate watcher on your First Fleet. I have beyond excellent eyesight, which I'm always wowing the staff at the Department of Transport with. And I think what he means is when he goes to do his eye test, so they make sure he's not blind. But the fact that he says I'm always wowing them does indicate the fact he goes down there on his days off to go, I'm not due for another 9 years for the license. Yeah. Watch this. PGXF blank. So... Kieran would have been a great asset.
It would have been great to have someone with us, although the island's not that big.
No. And nor do we need... It's not too hard to get across to it.
No.
It's only about 200 metres across.
And I don't think...
The channel to it.
Yeah. So I don't think that, we necessarily need him keeping eyes out for us.
Then a young man called Too Mysterious for You has written in.
He wants the Enigma job.
He wants the Enigma job. Again, guys, we've picked our Enigma.
Yeah.
He's a guy, I can't remember his name, but I know he's got a purple shirt on and a Cobra, and he's got a pet snake called 13. So you're not going to beat that.
No.
Even if you dress up in a trench coat and you put a white sack over your head with a big question mark on it like this guy has. And he just said, I just wanted to let you know that as a kid, probably my biggest problem growing up was being a very big enigma. He's trying to give us a bit of backstory to his life. He said, all the teachers would often say, we don't know if this kid's smart or not. He never talks and he just stays in the shadows. Wow. And then he's listed...
If he submitted a report card that actually said that from teachers...
That'd be awesome. Because it means he'd spent a year doing it. Then his location he's listed on his form is possibly Spain, maybe Russia.
Wow. Would we leave the option open to him to make his own way there as well? If he makes it, he can... He can come.
If he can get to Rockhampton and stay only in the shadows...
We can't say that because we can't give it.
No, he's in Russia. It doesn't matter.
Straight after this, though, Ham, we do have two magicians coming as part of the First Fleet. This is our chance to go back and colonise the island.
That's why there's no room for this guy.
We are worried, Ham, that two is too many.
You're worried that two is too many. I think two is the perfect amount.
And so we need to talk to them about maybe getting a hierarchy involved for the magicians.
Magicians don't like this, Andy. I heed these words. Yeah. Do not pit magicians against each other. Yeah. Case in point, Harry Potter. Yeah. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the Prestige.
Yeah. I mean, Star Wars, sort of. It was a sort of a magic show.
Anyway, we're going to do that. Happy hour. Hamish and Andy with you. Brings a big smile to my face every time I hear that music, Ham, because
this is it.
It is. I mean, this week we are going back up to Rockhampton, where we will launch our First Fleet from, be at the People's Island by Friday, an island we purchased many years ago. And to be honest, we've taken about...
Many months. But I do appreciate the romance in many years ago.
Well, we've taken about the same amount of time as England took to coordinate a First Fleet. It hasn't been a quick process.
No, not at all. Yeah. You could have sent a walking party back and almost made it to the island by now. But we wanted to bide our time, Andy, because we needed to get together the right members of our First Fleet.
Yes.
We set out to get a cross-section of society, and I feel like everyone in society is represented. You got your psychologists, you got your cheerleaders, your face painters.
You got your magicians.
So you got 4 of the 7 available careers to humans. So that's pretty good.
Hey,
including convict and cow.
I feel like you overdid the magician side of things. It started out with Jason, who also doubles as a bagpiper. He joins us now.
A magical piper.
How are you, Jason?
G'day, really good. Yourself?
Yeah, we're great, Jace. Can't wait.
Yeah, no, looking forward to it.
Jason, also joining us is a second magician. Hamish did get a second magician on board. His name's Lachlan. Welcome, Lachlan.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
How are you, Magical Lockie? Now, The thing is, it felt like one magician wasn't enough. Two might be too many, but you can't take 1.5. So it's better to be safe than sorry. Guys, I want to make this clear from the outset. I am very, very happy to just have two magicians who, in their right mind, in their professional journey, are brilliant magicians. You probably have different. One of you guys might do close up, another guy might do rope stuff, whatever. You've all got your tricks. And I just think you're fine to be on an equal footing.
I don't. I feel like, guys, we only have time when we're out there, but it's a short journey. We only have time for one magic show on the island. You know,
again,
with other
not
stuff
my
to do,
wishes,
including hanging out in Lovers Cove,
visiting the DJ Habana Brown tree.
So it's only fair, though, that you both get to put your best wand forward. And so
you don't have to listen to this, guys.
I never have too much magic.
Well, you can. I was wondering if you guys would be up for it. On Thursday's show, we'll be in Rockhampton. We'll be at the pub as we're getting our final people together before we set sail. I'd love a magic off. I'd like your best trick, one from each of you, and then maybe I can decide who will be the lead magician for a magic show on the island.
Guys, I keep trying to tell Andy there's no such position as lead magician. You're either a magician or you're not.
No, I feel like... Then, just for instance, if there's an emergency, right, and someone, say there's a fire, someone needs to put it out, I'd go to the second magician before going to the first.
Because he's expendable.
He's just more expendable.
So that everyone's expendable.
Well, everyone is expendable. I mean, there has to be some order at some point. Probably the cow goes first.
No, everyone is not expendable. That's what makes the Expendables an exciting film, because these guys are past their use by date.
But if we're
everyone's
in danger,
expendable, what sort of words is this from the captain?
If we're in danger, you've got to work out who to send people into the danger first.
But the motto is not everyone's expendable. All right, we're going to deal with your attitude towards expendability at a later date, because right now the least I can do is set the ground rules for this magic show. Guys, just to be clear, you're both obviously still coming to the island. Andy just wants to strip performance rights from one of you when we get there, because we're sort of thinking when the First Fleet lands, a nice moment would be the first magic show of the colony. And Ando's just thinks there's only room for one magician in that show. So I suppose, James, if you get stripped of your performance rights, you just become the bagpiper on the First Fleet.
Yeah, Jason. Yeah.
Sorry, Jason.
Yeah.
And then
Lachlan, I mean...
You just get demoted to civilian.
Yes.
Yeah, I can juggle poorly.
Okay, you can become the juggler.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Except I can juggle, so then you'll have to fight me to see who the fleet's juggler is.
Is it fair to say, if you guys got a like your best trick each?
Oh, yeah, I've got a good routine put together. I've spent the last few weeks.
I don't want a routine. I mean, what I want is just one trick.
One trick.
One trick at the pub. One trick each, and then I'll decide, and then that person will win the rights to perform on the island.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Don't see why not.
Yes, good.
Okay,
good.
What happens if we end up using the same trick?
To be honest, if you both do the same trick, that'll be much easier for me to guess. One will do it better. Exactly. It's like, that makes it a 100-metre sprint. Whoever gets there first wins. Yeah, that's very easy. It might be more difficult if they do a different one.
Yeah, true, Ando. True. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll leave it up to you guys. I mean, the suspense is building certainly on the audience side of things for everyone that's going to be listening to the show on Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't think a magic show, which is usually relies on the optical illusion for the excitement factor, I don't think one's ever been done on radio. You'd say for good reason.
Yes.
But you never know how exciting magic might sound on radio.
We'll see you at the pub, fellas.
Sounds good.
See you guys.
Lovely. Thank you, guys.
It's the happy hour. Happy hour. Hamish and Andy with you. Aim tomorrow, we'll be in Rockhampton. We'll be at a pub where we gather our First Fleet. These as a perfect cross-section to represent the whole of the Australian community, a whole of society and around the world, you would say, Ham.
That's good.
And then we'll float back across to the People's Island to colonise it.
To colonise it, and that's the thing. Everyone listening to this show owns the island.
Yep.
I mean, we've got it for 99 years, guys. But at the moment, it's very uninhabited.
Yeah.
And we really got to put a few more boots on the ground over there. And that's what the First Fleet's all about. That's why this week is Fleet Week. We're so excited, but we also thought we probably needed, like the original First Fleet, to have amongst those 13 people a convict.
Yes. It just felt right.
Let us say that you could apply for any position on the First Fleet. Yeah, up to you to tell us what you did, and then we selected people based on that. We did highlight at the start that convict was a position we wanted to fill, and so I feel a bit bad because we've made these rules for the convict, like, you're in chains, you have to eat slops.
Yeah.
All the conditions that just come with the turf of being a convict. But you did volunteer for being a convict. Now, that's the key condition.
And you had to provide your own soldier to take care of you.
And your +1 had to be law enforcement.
Yeah.
And I think we've got a cop or a soldier.
No, soldier. Yeah.
So the convict, it had to be a low-level crime. It is a low-level crime.
Yep.
I think, was it supplying a firearm to an unlicensed person?
That sounds worse.
Sounds bad, but he essentially gave they were going hunting and let his friend who's in the army use his gun. But the guy didn't technically have a license for that. That's how we're choosing to see it. Very much a scruffle of the hair and, sorry, mate, but rules are rules. We will have to give you a fine for that. He's a low-level convict. He's coming along with us, and he understands that he has to eat slops.
Has to eat slops the whole time. You and I discussed earlier today, we're like, well, who's preparing the slops? And neither you or I had decided that we were going to.
No. I can do slops, but it's accidental.
I think the pub that we're in tomorrow, we thought it would be best if they're in charge of it. And that's why we're joined by Jay, the pub manager. Thank you very much for joining us, Jay.
Hey guys, how are we going?
Yeah,
we're
Jay,
really
good.
We're looking forward to seeing you.
First things first, are you in the kitchen, Jay, or are you managing the whole affair?
The whole hotel.
Yeah, right.
Nice one.
Do you reckon your chef can do slops?
Oh, I could give it a red hot go.
How do you reckon you'd go about it?
Oh, there's quite a few different ways of going about it, really. It depends on the flavour you're after, I guess.
Okay. Because the thing is here, actually, we did say we would like the best type of slops.
We want to look after a convict within the rules.
Premium slops.
Yeah, premium slops. Within the rules, of course, that a convict has to follow, which is they have to eat slops. So, I mean, what are we talking? Would we do a mashed potato and gravy type slops?
Highly possible, yeah.
Truffle oil?
Truffle oil slops,
You know what would be nice? You know what would be nice, Jay? What are the chances of you and the chef getting together tonight, just knocking heads on this, and presenting us with 3 different types of slops for tomorrow's show? And potentially, you and I don't know what's in it, so it becomes a bit of a MasterChef type eating challenge.
Well, the difficulty is, of course, we're going to leave Rockhampton and then we're going to be at sea with no refrigeration.
Yeah.
So we probably can't have too much room temperature chicken in the slops. We'll kill our convict.
Have a think about that, Jay. But
I wouldn't mind seeing some prosciutto bits in the slops. That's a cured meat.
Jay, is it a chance that you guys could present us with 3 different types of slops?
We can do that.
And then maybe whichever one we choose, Ham,
slop off.
We just put them in a bucket. And then is there a?
Oh yeah, the other thing we'd need is could we get maybe 6 to 7 small sealable buckets?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, thank you. Actually, my friend Donna runs Donna's Sealable Bucket Emporium here in Rockhampton. It won't be a problem.
So you get on to Donna, and then whichever one we choose, we'll put it in a bucket, and then the convict will only eat that for the entire voyage.
Unless, of course, the convict steals the golden loaf, which frees them from their shackles.
Yes.
You don't need to worry about that. That's
a side game.
That's our admin. But yeah, we will be taking a spray-painted gold piece of loaf for the convict to steal.
Jay, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow, mate. And
likewise.
Hopefully we'll taste test those 3 types of slops.
Fantastic. Sounds good, guys.
All right, cheers. Thank you, mate.
I do like the idea of Jay just hanging up going, sorry about that, guys. I had to take a slops call. Okay, now, hand paper in the toilet.
It's the happy hour.
Before they took sail, the First Fleet would meet in the most honourable place, the pub on Main Street, where the convict could be shackled by his mate the cop, and the kitchen can organise the very best slops. A cross-section of life will start a new life today, overrepresented by magicians, it's probably fair to say. The journey will be fierce, so numb your wits with a beer as we prepare to return. Yes, the First Fleet is here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hamish and Andy with you for another happy hour, coming to you from a pub in Rockhampton, Ham. This is bloody exciting, isn't it?
It feels like history.
Yes.
I mean, we're just looking around the room here. We've got most of the First Fleet.
Yeah, we don't have them all.
Not all of them. Few stragglers, but it feels like I'm looking at an oil painting.
Yeah.
This would make the Last Supper look like bloody dogs playing poker. This is a historic moment for everyone involved.
Hey, for people who don't know and maybe listening to this show for the first time, welcome. And boy, is there some catching up to do. But yes, we purchased an island on behalf of the people. This island is just off the coast of Rockhampton,
We're so
northern
close to
Queensland.
Right now, we're probably only about 50 k's from the island.
Absolutely. And we decided to take a First Fleet back there, Ham, to colonise it. We've taken a perfect cross-section of the community. Every separate thing that a community offers is represented in this room.
Everyone you can imagine. Yeah. Do you have someone to be a cow? Yes. Do you have a tailor? Yes. Do you have a fisherman? Yes. Stop asking all these questions. What, you think we've never done a First Fleet before?
We're going to take you there, though, through your radios, wherever you may be around the country. We'll jump straight into it. A roll call, I think, should kick off this show straight after this.
We'll hand out gold stars to the members of the First Fleet that are already here.
Yes.
And bronze stars to those that we remain to see.
Happy hour. Hamish and Andy with you. Also with our First Fleet. We're in Rockhampton, everyone, northern Queensland, getting ready to go back to the People's Island, Ham, and colonise it for the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, first impressions of Rockhampton? Pretty laid-back place, isn't it? If people haven't been here.
Real calm before the storm, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
to the untrained eye, it just looks like a hot weekday.
Yes.
Where no one's really doing anything.
Well, that's what it would have looked like back in the UK when they first came out here to colonise Australia.
I bet it did.
There would have been a couple of guys out the front having a few beers, saying to Captain Phillip, best of luck, yeah.
Good on you, mate. Where are you off to? Are you going to a trip? Oh, good for you.
Laid back place, also laid back in the way they speak up here, Hammer. The cab driver we had on the way here didn't open his mouth.
Didn't have any jaw muscles, which has made it difficult to understand.
Or put a space between any of the words.
But fine, though.
But a lovely fella.
But again...
We even saw a guy who had a Legionnaire's helmet on the way here. That's how hot it gets up here.
It's really hot. Like, you have to wear a helmet for sun protection. If you just have cloth on, the sun will burn through the cloth. You have to have a helmet for sun protection. And a couple of days' time, we leave for the People's Island. The First Fleet are with us today. Well, a lot of the First Fleet are here.
Although we don't know when we've got official roll call to go through, I think.
I mean, probably should. Do we want to just go through a roll call and just get a few presents from people?
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, because we want to make sure that we've got everyone. First of all, our magical bagpiper, Jason. Are you here?
Yep.
Great present. Good.
Your +1.
Steve, your dad, the fisherman.
I am here.
I. Okay, well, you are now officially the captain of the ship because you said I.
Exactly.
And no one thought to say that.
It's ahead of us. Okay, great. We've got, is Nathan, the psychologist here?
Bloody hell. I mean, you try your hardest to put together a First Fleet
Is this
and then...
some kind of mind game he's playing with us already?
Well, the irony is I'm depressed and the one guy that could solve it isn't here.
All right, we don't have him.
Okay.
He's missed his flight, so we'll try and get him tomorrow. Other magician Lachlan. No, he's probably with Nathan. Okay.
Yeah, no, he was Nathan's +1. So Nathan and Lachlan not here.
Bodes well for Jason, who's having a magic off against him tomorrow.
Trudy the cow. Yeah, great.
Okay, Trudy's
here. She's got a cow outfit.
Yep.
Trudy currently out of uniform at the moment. We can't help but notice, but that's okay. I mean, you got a couple of days to make sure you suit up. You don't want to suit up too early. It's
Damien is here with her. Our cheerleaders, Sophie and Lucy. Present. Good.
Excellent.
Cheerleaders were on the First Fleet originally as well, so it's nice to have a bit of a nod there to history, Ham.
It's a shame that the recordings and the paintings of when the cheerleaders did their cheer when the First Fleet landed at Sydney Cove were lost. Yes. But from all accounts, it was a bloody good cheer.
Our tailors, are you there?
Present.
Gav,
Frank.
great, and Tanya, really good tailor's assistant.
They're going to be providing uniforms for the entire First Fleet.
Now we get down to the business end of things.
Yes.
These are probably the most high-profile passengers we have.
Not taking anything away from
Not taking anything away from our cows and our magicians and our cheerleaders. The convict, Shannon.
Present.
Okay, good. Very
Currently
polite.
unshackled.
Currently unshackled.
Which bothers everyone. We're going to have to deal with that.
This is true, everyone, though. If you've just tuned in, we are taking a convict. Another nod to history of the First Fleet. This person did have to have something bad enough to warrant him.
We needed
a bit of
low
police
level
record.
We needed a low level crime.
We wanted a police record, though, but we didn't want it
Shannon,
to be...
you got a police record for your crime?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Got it on you?
No. Luckily, they lost it.
Okay. But we also demanded that the convict, as his +1, had to be someone in the military or police officer. Do we have our guard? I think it's Ken. Yeah, great.
This is really good. Now, Ken, you're military, right? Ex-military?
Ex-military, yes.
Yeah, but you still remember all the tricks.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
You still remember the 4 months of convict babysitting they taught you? Yeah, good.
All right, and finally, is the Enigma here?
Okay, no Enigma as yet. Now, for people that haven't been listening to the lead up to the show, we did want an Enigma as part of the First Fleet, but of course, it's very tough to cast an Enigma because the more you know about them, the less enigmatic they are. The Enigma was told through his brother, look, just tell him if he turns up at the pub, either today or tomorrow, he can come on the First Fleet, and we'll
And we'll-
reimburse him for his travel expenses.
So it's a big call for him to come. We didn't expect him to be here, but guess we were both sitting around him hoping.
I would have loved to see him swinging
just
from
look
the
up at the-
chandelier.
I was just looking up at the
Phantom of the
ceiling.
Opera style. That would have been the perfect spot for him to be.
Happy hour. Hamish Andy with you for defencejobs.gov.au. Quite fitting that the show is brought to you by defencejobs.gov.au.
What a
because-
perfect segue.
Yes.
Joining us up here at the front staging area of the First Fleet,
which is just the front of the pub.
which is just the front of the pub here in Rockhampton. We are coming to you from Rockhampton today. We're about to set sail out to the People's Island, and we have with us most of the First Fleet.
We're about to set sail in around about 48 hours.
Yeah, we're just getting all our ducks in a row, having a few beers, and really having to think about the journey. But speaking of defence jobs, Ken joins us on stage. Ken, you were in the military for 10 years.
Yes, I was.
And you're now faced with the greatest challenge. You have been selected to be part of the First Fleet as our Marine, as our guard for the convict.
Yeah, well, all the lead-up training, it's prepared me well for this.
Do they teach you any of this stuff in the
Not
army?
at all.
I mean, Hugh. I mean, if there's a mutiny, we're going to be looking at you as well to save us. If there's any type of uprising,
Yeah, that's true. We don't want to lump too many jobs on you. I mean, you've got the convict to look after, but we'd also love you to, watch our backs.
Yeah, if you could, just a smidgen. Let's talk to our convict, Shannon. Can you remind everyone what your charge was? What your misdemeanour was?
Well, I may or may not have supplied firearms
because
to...
they proved it.
This is true.
You were charged.
Supplied firearms to unlicensed people.
Yeah, but that sounds terrible. It's not like you're
like
not
you just-
aiding ISIS. You gave a mate a gun to, and the guy was in the army. Gave him a gun to hunt a rabbit, to shoot a rabbit.
Exactly. I kind of didn't really realise that the fact that they can use guns while they're at work doesn't mean they're allowed to use the guns when they're not at work.
Like lending a farmer a shovel off duty.
Well, technically, like lending a plumber a wrench.
Yeah, exactly. The same kind of thing.
So, look, victimless crime, obviously, apart from the rabbits involved. But, you learnt your lesson, you took the fine, you said sorry to the police, but, unfortunately, you're branded a convict for life.
Yeah.
And that brings you here, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I suppose you got to get something.
Now, part of
well, it's a bit like getting a trade, isn't it? Because now otherwise you wouldn't have qualified for the First Fleet.
That's exactly right. There's got to be benefits in everything.
Shannon, you may or may not be aware that you're going to be shackled for the entire voyage. It just looks like I'm telling you now.
Because at the moment, I've got to say, you're a fairly laid-back convict. You're in boardies and you're drinking a beer.
Hayden, do we want the shackling now to take place?
I mean, it's probably... we've got the rest of the fleet here.
Yeah.
Would you guys feel safer if he was shackled?
Yeah, there's a lot of...
A lot of not shackle him up. It's sorry, Shannon has turned into Lord of the Flies already.
Well, I'll hand Hamish over the shackles.
Here are your irons.
It kind of looks like a prop out of Les Mis. So if you can just...
Okay, Jean Valjean.
If you wouldn't mind just...
You just got to sort of... Yeah, all right. Left hand is shackled.
Yep.
Right hand, I'm just working it just...
Good, Ham. Tighten that right up. And
Jeez. He's a slippery convict. Actually, get the guard to do it. What am I doing? I'm the bloody mayor. I've got a colony to run. I don't have time to shackle convicts.
And one thing, Ham,
well done, Cam.
He's
Good
now
shackling.
shackled, which is exciting.
The convict is secure.
Everyone's just breathed a huge sigh of relief here. One thing that we should do, Ham, a bit of business is probably.
Sorry, convict has still been able to reach over and get his beer there. They're generous shackles.
Is we should have alerted the Rockhampton police that we were bringing a felon through. Similar to Con Air, I think they rang in advance and just said,
letting you
hey,
know.
we're bringing some guys through. So do we have the number for the police
great.
here at Rockhampton? If we just give them a buzz.
All right. Now, don't go causing any trouble here, Shannon.
Yeah, exactly.
We know you're anti-authority. But Ken, we might need you to give him your word.
Yeah, I've got this.
CID, Scott Moon speaking.
G'day, Scott. I mean, Constable or... what's your rank?
General?
Senior Sergeant.
Senior Sergeant Scott Moon. It's Hamish and Andy here. How you going?
Good, thank you.
Okay, good. We just wanted to ring as more of a courtesy call. We have brought a felon, brought a convict into your area. We probably should have alerted you guys.
Has he been fumigated?
No, he hasn't. I mean, we're going for a traditional convict feel here, so we're going to give him fleas tonight. But look... Just giving you the FYI that obviously the criminal population's gone up by 1. Yeah. But we're going to get him offshore and take him to the People's Island.
Within 48 hours.
Within 48 hours.
Can you get him over there any sooner?
Well, I don't think we can.
It's a budgetary issue, mate. My hands are tied. If you would be willing to donate a police speedboat, I'm sure we could think of a way to work it out.
Senior Sergeant, we've also got a guard alongside him who is ex-military. So does that make you feel a little bit more comfortable?
Well, a little bit more comfortable, but what sort of weaponry does he have?
Ken, what do you got?
What kind of weaponry do you have?
So I spent 6 years in the 3rd Battalion, so pretty much everything.
Well, they let you keep the guns.
Yeah, so we've got artillery, we've got air support. I think we've got a few off-the-record nuclear weapons. So, yeah, not a worry, he's fine.
Thank you, Senior Sergeant, for joining us.
No worries at all.
As you were. And thanks for not investigating the fact that we have technically shackled a civilian, which probably makes us criminals.
It's the happy hour.
We're about to set off on the first fleet voyage. This is probably one of the bravest things that's ever happened on radio.
Yep.
We're heading out to the People's Island. If you listen to the show, you own this island along with all the other listeners.
Yep.
So, don't try and sell little bits and pieces because it's a very small percentage you own.
Yeah.
But it's an exciting voyage, Ando. Everything seems to be going right except for one thing.
Yeah. The point of an enigma, we did list a few things that we wanted on this journey.
Yep.
A convict we wanted as a nod to history. We also wanted an
Two
enigma.
Magicians.
Well, you wanted them.
Done.
I'm very happy to have you, though, Jace.
Andy's now faced with the tough situation of being quite vocally anti-magician, but now in the presence of two.
One's missed.
Well, one hasn't turned up yet.
One's done a great disappearing act already and not even arrived. But we hopefully get them by tomorrow. Besides that,
we wanted an enigma because
the magicians would have come here today.
Yeah.
Well, one of them has, thinking that they were going to be the most mysterious.
And you would think, Jace, we'll get to... He's our bagpiping magician.
Yeah.
He's got a kilt on.
Yeah.
He does magic. In any other given arena, that's a very enigmatic guy.
Oh, wow.
But not when you're faced with another enigma.
Yeah,
who's in town. Now,
whose only job is to be an enigma.
I've got to say, so we put the call out. We said we picked our enigma. His name's Michael. Yep. He wears a purple shirt, has an Akubra, pet snake called 13, and he has a whip. That's all we know about him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't listen to the show. I don't think he's a fan. So really for us, that's the perfect enigma. Yeah. It does make it difficult for us to communicate with him, and it also makes it difficult for him to want to come on this trip.
He's never communicated with us specifically, but we did say on the radio show that if you want to get yourself to this pub by tomorrow, I suppose now, we're hoping it was today, we'll reimburse any costs you've had on the way.
And then you're on the trip.
Don't take a private jet.
Don't get hand carried up here by Brad Pitt or something.
Yeah, we can't afford that. But we didn't. He's not here.
He's not here, and I would have been disappointed if he was here.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I am disappointed.
Well, but
I know what you're saying.
It would have been a bit if he just turned up at the door and went, "Hi, Michael, how are you? Great to meet you." I'm the enigma. I would have been, "Oh, that's a letdown."
Yeah, exactly. So you're right. I should take a bit of solace in that. Anyway, Hamish and I went out around Rockhampton today just to see if we couldn't find out whether the enigma is in town.
Can we ask you guys a few quick questions? Sure. We're just up here. We're about to go on a voyage to our island, and we're on the lookout for an enigma. Have you seen anyone around just acting a bit enigmatic?
No, not that rings a bell.
Yeah, right. But that's exactly how he would look.
True.
He's an enigma.
Do you know everyone in town? Pretty much.
No. We're from Brisbane. We just got here this morning. We've been here a couple of hours.
This is terrible. This is the wrong person. The only guys in town less qualified are us. We're taking an enigma with us. He hasn't shown up. We're sort of cruising around town looking for him. Have you seen anyone a bit shady?
No, not really. Sorry. I've been inside all day.
Yeah, right. Been inside all day. Has the law firm...
He looks a bit shady.
No, that's our audio guy, Danny.
Is there a pet store in town?
There is.
Yeah, right. Because we know this enigma, he has a snake. He has a pet snake.
Oh, true.
Yeah, called 13. You haven't seen anyone with a snake around, have you?
Yes, I did.
You saw a guy with a snake yesterday?
Yeah.
Where was he?
Oh, in the mall.
In the mall?
Yeah.
He was walking around with a snake?
Yeah.
What, on a leash?
Nah.
No, because a snake is a leash. You need to wrap it around another animal's neck.
So what was he doing?
I just walking through the mall with it.
Right, is that normal?
Probably in Rockhead it is.
Yeah, right. All right, well, thank you very much for your time.
That's a good lead. Thank you.
Well, hey, why don't we call a pet store to see if they've sold any mice to anyone that they don't know?
Pet barn, Rockhampton. Good afternoon, Pet barn, Rockhampton. Jeffrey speaking.
Oh, hi, is that Pet barn?
Yes, it is.
Oh, great. Just wondering if you've had anyone come in to buy any mice for a pet snake today or yesterday?
Yeah, I did have one guy.
Did he seem like an enigma?
No, not at all. Did you want me to go and ask the other staff that are on the floor?
Yeah, you just... More just if they've seen an enigma hanging around.
Okay, I'll just have a quick look. Let me take mate.
Thank you. Yeah, Jerry saw an enigma.
You there, mate?
Yeah.
No one's had any problems with anyone.
Oh,
so no one like that through the store.
No one's seen an enigma?
No.
All right, give us a buzz if you do.
Okay, mate. Bye.
Bye.
A couple of leads, Sam. a couple of leads. I think I'm not ruling it out for tomorrow.
Well, that's the thing. You wouldn't say he's not here, would you?
No.
There's enough mystery in town to suspect the enigma might be here. Here's the thing. We are about to challenge ourselves here, Ando.
Yes.
Because...
Well, the challenge has really been put down to the kitchen staff here at the Rockhampton pub we're in.
Yeah.
The Criterion. Amazingly old hotel.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like the start of the original voyage, doesn't it?
For the first fleet?
Yeah.
They would have had a lot shorter to go. We're off to discover Sydney from Rockhampton.
But as far as how old this building is, I mean, it's obviously not that old because Australia wasn't discovered yet. I mean, if they got out here and this pub was here,
I
that would
have
have been
it
a
on
huge surprise.
good authority that when the first fleet landed in Sydney Cove, 3 or 4 of the guys got straight off and bolted up to Rockhampton.
Started building
and they had this pub built by the second weekend of white settlement. So it's a pretty old pub.
Yeah.
They were knackered, but that's why they built a pub, because they needed somewhere to rest.
They should have gone for shorter ceilings there.
That's an impressive build, isn't it?
Hey, straight after this, we have issued the challenge to the kitchen staff here to present us with 3 types of slops.
That's true, because this is we're in Fleet Week, and in a couple of days we'll have our first fleet on the People's Island here in Queensland. And obviously when you take a convict, with great danger comes great responsibility.
Yes.
And the thrill of having a convict on board has really got everyone on their toes.
Yeah.
He's in the crowd, he's shackled.
Yes.
He's fine, he's not a threat to any of you. But at the same time, we're his caretakers now.
Yeah,
Because it's sort of like,
that's true.
this is a great little microcosm of government. Because we're like, all right, well, you've got prisoners, but you've got to keep them alive. But do we have to be good to him? Not necessarily.
No,
not really.
Not at all.
Let's just give him slops.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was our idea, that he can eat nothing but slops.
And then, I mean...
But we're not monsters.
The kind heart of us.
We're not
Yeah,
monsters.
so let's get him some good slops.
Let's make him nice slop.
We are in Rockhampton, everyone, at the pub. And, Ham, we're about to embark on our first fleet as we travel back to the People's Island. We have the first fleet with us. Most of them, few of them missed their
Couple of
flights.
stragglers.
They'll come back tomorrow. But, Hey, we have a problem already.
Small problem, Mando. Here we are just doing the old, get everything in order before we go, show at the pub. Everyone's here. Most people are here. Got our convict. Shannon's in the audience. And then during the last song, he holds up his shackles. And he's broken out of them already. Now, Shannon, were you trying to break out of your shackles?
Well, not any harder than I should have been.
And that's
a good point.
true.
That's true.
Let's not blame Shannon here because... that's his job. He's a convict.
Yeah.
Of course he wants to escape. Why else would we have shackled him?
Exactly.
Ken, you're the military guy. You're his +1. You're meant to be looking after him. Can I just be honest? I sort of blame you.
No, because this was a test. We've seen some early signs of community here.
Yeah.
The fisherman has actually tied the shackles back together using some...
Which I
fishing
really
line.
applaud, fisherman.
Well done.
That's okay, pal.
Ken, I don't want to come down on you here like, as you say, a drill sergeant that you have bad memories of back in your army days.
Just watch yourself.
But I can't micromanage you all the time, okay? I've got a colony to run.
I do apologise.
I really need you to be watching The Convict, all right, Kenny? Let's make this the last time he escapes, or you find yourself shackled with him.
Well, thank God for Stephen, our sailor Ham. He's probably the wisest of all the travellers, would you say, Ham?
Yeah.
And he can manage to shackle the person back up. I mean, that's a polite way of saying he's the oldest.
He's the wisest and the wrinkliest and the greyest. No, he's wiry. Wiry and
But
tough.
let's bring us back to the task at hand. We've got Breet here. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Breet.
Thanks a lot, guys.
You are the kitchen...
I run this kitchen. I'm the head chef of
The head chef, jeez. Are you a bit Gordon Ramsay like? Do you yell at people or you...
No, but depends upon the time. Sometimes the kitchen is too stressed, then you have to yell.
Of course you do.
Would you ever use...
I just had to yell at Ken and it broke my heart.
Breet, would you ever use a swear word like Gordon Ramsay?
Try not to, but it still happens.
Oh, sometimes it happens. Well, don't do it on air.
And that's very much the tone of the First Fleet. Yeah. We try not to swear at sea, but sometimes it might happen. And what we've got Preet to do is cook up some slops for our convict, Shannon. Now, he's a wily convict. He's already escaped his shackles once.
Yeah.
but we wanted to make them nice slops.
Yeah.
Have you ever made slops before, Pre?
Yes, I did a few times.
Hang on.
I wouldn't have thought it would be a request that comes into the kitchen.
Why in previous times have you made slops, Preet?
I made it last time at my before on a workplace, just for saying that we are doing a Christmas party.
Yeah.
And it's just like a task.
All right, what's your budget for your Christmas party? Very low. That's all right. Why don't I just do slops?
It's just like, and people going to win a prize, or who's going to finish that? And I have to make it terrible.
you got to make some slops for punishment.
We wanted high class slops. Now, Ham, there's 3 different slops in front of us. I don't know what's in any of them because. I mean, should we do some kind of MasterChef taste test?
You've done a brilliant job, Pre, because they all look like vomit.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for the compliment.
I mean, especially this one looks a bit like cat vomit, and then the other 2 are human vomit.
Yes.
Well, why don't I taste this one? I can see a bit of carrot.
Yeah, go for it.
I feel like it's got a lot of different ingredients.
We're
in
hoping for things that keep because there's no refrigerator on the way out.
But it tastes beautiful.
Yeah, right.
Thanks a lot.
That's really good.
I think I did a good job.
Okay, which? Okay.
I actually think we've got some meat in that, don't we? There's a little bit of maybe beef or lamb.
Okay.
Potato based, different vegetables.
Haim, if you move on from the cat vomit looking like one to more human one.
This looks sort of just potatoes and gravy.
Haim's it.
Yep, I'm spot on.
Yeah, it's potatoes and gravy.
Is that potatoes and gravy?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, good. And then the final one.
I think this could be potatoes, gravy and beans.
Okay.
I'm right again, aren't I?
No, you're not right.
No.
It's porridge and beans, bro.
Porridge
and beans.
Okay, well, Hamish...
Actually, now that he said that, and I'm just digesting it, that's probably the worst tasting mix.
Okay, sure. So it's out of the cat vomit looking like one or the straight human vomit one.
I think cat vomit has... cat vomit's got beef in it, doesn't it? We're going to be at sea for a few days. Is that... We don't have a refrigerator.
That'll keep, though. What do you think?
It's going to be a bit hard for you guys to keep it then.
Well, but
not hard for us. We're not eating it.
What about the potatoes and gravy? Would that keep a bit longer than the other one? Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Hey, so you're thinking?
I think probably potatoes and gravy because porridge and beans wasn't great. By the power of elimination.
Well,
I mean, if I had it my way, Shannon, you'd be eating cat vomit.
Yeah.
But it's got beef in it, so I think it's probably just potatoes and gravy.
Just the human vomit. All right,
just classic
congratulations,
slops. Shannon, you've won your slops. We've picked the slops. Well done. And quick plug for the pub if anyone wants Christmas slops this year. You guys still got functions available?
Yeah, sure.
One of the best plugs I've ever seen. Thank you very much, Brett. A round of applause for him. It's a happy hour.
Great
Straight
slop.
after this, we'll be joined by the mayor of the entire Shire. Jeez, Ham.
We've got a lot of big stuff to talk to the mayor about.
Do we bow? We'll find out.
We'll give him some slops.
Happy hour, Hamish and Andy with you, coming to you from Rockhampton, a pub in Rockhampton, the Criterion Hotel, Ham. And we've been waiting all show for a special guest to arrive. We believe he is just arriving at the building now. I'm sure he's a very busy man.
This is exciting, and on the verge of us leaving Rockhampton and heading out to sea to the People's Island with our first fleet.
Would you be upstanding?
We thought it would be only appropriate we get the mayor of the Shire, Livingston Shire, to come in. All rise
yes.
for the mayor.
Oh, fantastic.
Bill, thanks for the welcome. Now, I just bought you a little something.
He's got us a fish,
for
Ando.
the campfire tomorrow night. There you go.
Thank you very much.
That is
Bill,
huge.
come across here and take a seat.
That's delicious.
That stinks.
That's a beautiful coral trout. Caught it myself.
Tell you what, you caught it in cold waters. It's freezing.
But it's some of the awful food you're going to have to put up with living on the People's Island.
Oh, thanks, Bill. Not every day do you get given a giant fish in a freezer bag from the mayor.
Thank you very much for joining us. I know you're a busy man. How many square kilometres of area do you reside over as the mayor of the Livingston Shire?
Look, it's huge. It stretches from the mouth of the Fitzroy River up to Shoalwater Bay, including the wonderful island that you guys have taken possession of.
Thank you.
Now, for people who don't know specifically where Fitzroy River is or where that other bay is...
so the Capricorn Coast, so the Great Keppel group of islands.
Wow. The Barrier Reef.
Oh, yeah.
You got all the good stuff.
I should share.
Which is the slogan of the Shire.
Fantastic. Mayor, we'd love you to reside over our island, and you can be in charge as well. We'd like to formally say that on the record.
No declaration of war between us and the mainland.
Yes.
Look. I'd be absolutely delighted
Great.
to share the rights of presiding. And have you met the local inhabitants yet?
There's no one on it.
There was no cow. We've bought our own cow. Trudy is our cow. She's going to wear a cow costume.
You've got a good-looking bunch there.
Yeah.
Don't we?
I don't know if it'll feed the whole lot, but I could probably send you a red emperor to go with it.
Appreciate that. Great. We'll be here probably for half an hour after the show. If you'd like to drop past more fish.
We are thrilled that you are happy to reside over our island.
Because I suppose in a way that makes us available for council funds, doesn't it?
Oh, mate, most definitely. But
yeah, great.
Okay, good.
Cool. No, great, because we've got a list. We've got a little list, Bill.
Things, Bill, that we would like to throw at you that we're planning on doing.
Since now you acknowledge that we require your help,
yes.
Could we have, are you familiar with a girl called DJ Havana Brown? She's a sort of a celebrity DJ.
Now, I don't think that comes on the pre-qualified list. There's a list of things that I can support you with.
Andy just wants her to fly in for some, so it doesn't even have to play music, just a sunbaking festival. Should be 10 grand. We get 10 grand for DJ Havana
Well,
Brown.
let me tell you, I'll supply the sunblock, all right?
Okay.
I bet you will.
So
Andy's already buzzed that.
Council will be happy to do that with the Cancer Council to supply the sunblock. So
Bill,
next,
that's
we need the money.
I didn't really know that. I didn't really want that one, so that's fine. We plan to build a casino out there. Now we obviously.
So we're going to need your help,
right?
But we don't expect any funding for this.
Now I've just been talking to Jeff Seeney.
Okay.
How is Jeff?
about trying to get a casino license for Great Keppel Island.
Yeah. Forget about
so
that.
you'll have to stand in line for that one. So,
okay. Well, we didn't want necessarily the license. Just we thought some gardens around it you could put some money towards. 15 grand.
Oh, right, okay. So can I say that from the community nursery,
Yep.
we'll give you all of the plants, a revegetation program on that island.
Jeez,
would be absolutely fantastic. You've got the crew here to do it.
Yeah, no,
Tom White, we'll even send him up, our Director of Parks.
You'd send Tom White?
Yeah. Tom White, the gardening guru. You can have him for a week, okay?
Wow, okay.
Well,
That's
I suppose all we need then is like 100 grand for a bronze statue of Tom White on the island.
Mate, Tom doesn't need he's larger than life. He doesn't need any statues whatsoever.
Now, for tourism, it'd be helpful for us to have a bus that could get us out there.
Yeah. So let us pitch you something.
Right.
Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Yeah.
Amphibious bus.
Golden
Amphibious
Gate.
bus, yeah.
The Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco.
Yeah,
the Hamish and Andy People's Island Expressway and Tunnel System. What do those three things have in common? They all put their region on the map.
Yeah, and look, I'm with you.
We're asking for 1.8 billion, possible. It might blow out to 2, just for a 50-kilometre bridge.
Can I organise the meeting with Michelle Landry, our federal member?
Yes.
Our state member, Bruce Young.
Yeah, get Young in there.
And I'll be down with you, helping twist their arm to get those funds.
Because we need that 2 billion. Thank you, sir.
Everybody, a round of applause.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for the fish.
Fantastic. All we've got time for this afternoon. Thank you very much for being with us. Go to hamishandandy.com. All the photos of the photos of our amazing fish.
The mayoral fish. You're going to have a look at the fish.
Yes. He's out the door.
The mayor's out. Mayor's out.
He's gone. He's got thumbs
up from the mayor.
Straight out the door.
Just a surgical strike.
You'll see our convict. You'll see the shackles. You'll see the entire First Fleet. We'll be back here in the pub tomorrow. Hopefully we get our stragglers out. The people that should have been here today.
We will collect
Hopefully
them.
they arrive tomorrow, including Enigma. We'll catch you then, everyone.
Have a great one.
Thanks for listening to the Hamish and Andy podcast. To contribute to the show, head to hamishandandy.com/topics. Before they took sail, the First Fleet would meet in the most honourable place, the pub on Main Street. There's cheerleaders, a psychologist, and even a cow. But also strict instructions that there's no milking allowed. An enigma may walk amongst them. Is he here today? I'd probably say no, because he's had to pay his own way. The journey will be fierce, so numb your wits with a beer as we prepare to return. Yes, the First Fleet is here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hamish and Andy with you. It is Fleet Week, our second day at the Rockhampton pub.
Just always important before you go to the People's Island to do 2 days in the pub, really dotting your I's and filling your cups and crossing your T's.
I do keep thinking that, maybe they did this back in the day where Captain Phillip was sitting there.
Like there wasn't a solid leave date because they were like, it's going to take about 6 months anyway, so look, we're not together by this afternoon, we'll just leave Monday.
Exciting news today. We had the last 2 members that weren't accounted for yesterday. Joining us, everyone, is psychologist in Nathan and another magician in Lachlan. Welcome, guys.
Welcome. It now brings our First Fleet numbers to 12 First Fleet members, 2 of whom are magicians. There will be a magic off on today's show to determine who, in Andy's words, will be the chief magician on the First Fleet. But on top of that, this scoop, we have word, and we never really got our hopes up for this, but we have word that a man matching the description of the Enigma could be in the pub. All along, we said we wanted an Enigma to come on this trip. We couldn't get in contact with him because the Enigma we picked doesn't listen to the show, not a fan.
No.
But we said, look, you turn up at the pub.
We just broadcast it.
The days we're doing the show.
Yeah.
If you turn up, then we'll know you're serious.
We've had word a couple of hours ago that there's a man that fits the description in the pub already.
He's been here for a while.
Yeah.
We've deliberately not approached him because we wanted to save this for the show.
Straight after this song, we'll go and hopefully tap on a guy who we believe to be the Enigma. Otherwise, there'll be a very confused and bemused man.
It's either going to be a guy saying, no, this is my work polo shirt. I'm here every day.
Happy hour. Hamish and Andy with you. And this is exciting, Ham. We should fill everyone in. We are in the Criterion Hotel in Rockhampton, northern Queensland.
We're in the foyer of the pub.
It's a huge hotel.
It's a huge pub. We've got a sort of a side room where the First Fleet is. These are so far 12 people that are coming with us to the People's Island tomorrow, Ando.
Yeah.
We will take everyone out to the island that we own. If you're listening, you own this island.
Congratulations.
It's not a big island, but it's got a good heart.
Yes.
It's bloody annoying to get to, hence the few-day journey to get there.
And on this fleet, we wanted a convict. Check.
Got
He's
him.
in there. Shannon is his name.
Yeah.
We needed a cow. I've got her.
Gorgeous, Trudy.
We also wanted an Enigma. Someone who was mysterious. Someone who we didn't know a lot about.
We had a submission for an Enigma by a young man's brother. And he said, look, my brother is an Enigma. He doesn't listen to your show. He wears a purple shirt and a Cobra a lot of the time. He's got a pet snake called 13.
And he had just attached a photo of him, his brother that is, the Enigma, on a beach cracking a whip.
And we went, that is a guy that doesn't tell you a lot about himself. He qualified as the Enigma. But how do you tell an Enigma to come on the show? Don't have a phone number, don't have an email address. We said on the show, you want to come, mate, turn up to the pub where we'll be broadcasting from before we go and sit in the bar.
Pay your own way.
Pay your own way. Well, you haven't won anything.
No.
But if you turn up, we'll reimburse you for your travel costs.
Big
This
call.
is where it gets exciting. So Ando and I right now are in the foyer. We've heard that for the last few hours there has been a guy matching the description. We haven't allowed ourselves to go and have a peek because we want this. If this moment is going to be what we think it is, we want this to be fresh and exciting. We're about to creep into, I think, the sort of family bistro area of the pub. It's just past the gaming room.
I can see a lot of families
There's a
still.
bit of James Bond memorabilia on the wall.
I think that's it.
Oh, great. He's done it. He's reading a novel. He's reading a novel. He's reading a novel in a pub. He's reading a novel. Okay, there's a few people in booths having a drink. Looks like there's a bit of a work function. The Enigma.
What do you say to Enigma?
Look how disinterested he is. This is what I love about the Enigma. He's worked his way through a pint.
He had one headphone in. He's just dropped it. He can't see. Now he's seen us. He's seen us. He's seen us. He's smirking.
Is he?
You go speak to him.
I don't know if that was eye contact. He didn't seem to clock us.
I'm too nervous. You go speak to him.
Right.
What do you say? Don't ruin it. What if you say the wrong thing? What if you say the wrong thing now and he never? Hamish is approaching him. Hamish is walking up to him.
How's it going? What are you reading?
The Sirens of Titan.
There's no easy way to say this. Are you the Enigma?
I am the Enigma.
Oh my god! Welcome. Oh my god, I can see a whip sticking out of your bag.
Yes, I brought my whip with me.
It's Michael the Enigma. Hamish,
toys and that.
we've got to go to a song. Let's bring the Enigma back in to meet the whole fleet straight after
Will
this.
you come with us?
If I have to.
Yeah.
Classic Enigma.
Come with us. The happy hour. Amazing. I'm so excited. We are in Rockhampton. We are in the Criterion Hotel. And, Haim, we are about to embark on the First Fleet. We had all 12 members accounted for today.
We were missing one, but we never really thought he'd show.
Yeah.
We never dared to dream that he'd show, but dreams do come true.
Yes.
We put the call out and we said, look, we chose this young man. His name's Mike.
Yep.
Chose him as our Enigma. But the whole point of an Enigma is you don't know a lot about him.
No.
We just said on the radio, if you turn up to the pub when we're broadcasting, sit in the bar, wear the purple shirt from the photo we've seen of you, bring your whip along, then we'll know it's you. We just had a bit of a stealth mission to the bar. We had heard there was a man that matched the description.
He was reading a novel.
He was reading a novel. Classic Enigma behaviour. We had a peek around. He drank his beer. He didn't say much. Again, very enigmatic.
Yeah.
But he's here.
And he's going to join us now. Everyone, would you please make welcome the People's Enigma?
Welcome to the front bar. Yes, he's come in with the whip.
Michael, come on in. Take a seat and have a microphone.
So many questions, Mike.
So many questions. First of all, I mean, again, to quickly fill people in, you had to make your own way here was part of the deal, and then we'd reimburse you. That shows that shows a lot of trust in us.
Yeah, it didn't cost that much to get here.
Yeah, right.
That's terrific news. Round of applause.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for catching the bus.
I mean, I know your job is not to give too much away, but where is the Enigma from? Like, what part of Australia?
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Oh,
lovely.
It costs a bit.
Lovely.
I mean, it's not the closest place to Rockhampton.
Is this the first time you've appeared in a professional capacity as an Enigma?
No.
Whoa.
Brilliant Enigma answer. Is this the
professional
hat from the photo that we saw? We remember it as an Akubra. This is more of a straw fedora.
No, unfortunately, that one burnt up.
Oh, right.
So, doesn't exist now.
The thing about the Enigma is I don't want to ask why for anything. I just like hearing these facts about your life. How did your hat burn up? Only for us to guess. So
the other wider brimmed hat did burn up, and you've now replaced it with a straw fedora.
Yes.
Is the other hat that you had burn up, is that the first hat you ever had burnt?
No.
Really good.
It's an amazing Enigma. Well, we don't want to learn too much about you now. We've got a whole voyage to do that, but is it an understanding that you will travel with us tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll come with you.
All right, the Enigma! Joining the First Fleet. We're going to talk to our magicians straight after this. Thank you very much, Michael. Get down and have a beer. It's the happy hour.
Thank you, mate.
Wow, I mean, we've just been blown away by the fact that the Enigma has shown up.
The Enigma has turned up, Ando. The First Fleet leaves. Tomorrow we will be on the People's Island here in Queensland.
And we're currently in Rockhampton in a pub.
So we now have 13 members of the First Fleet, and within those 13 we have 2 magicians. Not enough, I say.
I thought we
One too many, Andy says.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how many magicians were on the original First Fleet.
9.
9, okay. Right, what was their role mainly?
Crew morale, and in the event that they didn't make it to Australia, it was their job to come up with some sort of illusion that made it look like they did.
Okay. Well, we welcome. This is the first time we've had Lachlan on the show. Welcome, Lachlan.
Lockie, how are you?
Hey, how you
Your
doing?
playing got a little delayed, and we're wrapped that you're here with us today. But Jason, you've been here. You also play the bagpipes as well.
I certainly do.
Okay, fantastic.
Andy laid down the challenge for you guys. He made it quite clear that he thought that neither of you, it would create a bit of a power struggle if you were both on the same footing as magicians on the fleet. So I haven't seen Harry Potter, but I'm guessing this is sort of loosely what the films are about. We're about to have a magic off.
I didn't bring my wand. I warn you.
Again, your references are lost on me. But we're going to have a magic off. Now, I myself, having won my Year 6 camp contest as a magician, I'm down with you guys. I'm part of the Magician's Code.
Yeah. The way we're going to do it, though, is you'll both get a chance to perform a trick. For myself, Lachlan, how long does your trick go for?
Oh, very short. You'll be blown away in no time.
Okay, great. I like
basically just sets your hair on fire.
Okay, so we'll both get you to perform a trick after this song.
Yeah. You're both going to perform for Ando. I'll sort of commentate like at the golf.
Yes.
So sort of quietly off to the side.
But speaking very closely into the mic.
Now, can we have a sort of, sort of an overview of what the trick is? What are we talking, like card magic?
Lachlan, what's yours?
Oh, I don't know if I want to give it away.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I'll surprise you.
Okay, and Jason, you're going to catch the same?
It's a bit of a prediction, you could say.
A prediction?
That I made before you even brought me into here.
Right, before you even met us.
Love it. A bit of mind magic. So we've got a bit of mind magic, and then I think reading between the lines, Mike's going to produce a tiger. So mind magic and tigers after this.
Happy hour. We're about to embark on a magic off because I feel like there should be a chief magician.
When you go on a voyage, on a Nautica voyage, hierarchy is a very important thing. And Ando sort of looked at the our cast here looked at our crew and went, look, we can't have two magicians. So who's the best one?
Yeah.
We need to have a chief magician, and maybe then the other guy gets stripped of his magical powers for the trip. Yet you are sitting next to the two cheerleaders, but we aren't making them fight for their spot.
Yeah, but cheerleaders normally are in packs. They hunt in packs.
Yes.
I mean, have you ever seen a national football team have one person out there with pom-poms?
No, you're right.
Exactly.
You're right, Ando. So if you're a pack profession, you don't have to play for your spot. But since magicians are lone wolves, that is why we now have the magic off in front of us. Jace, you're going to go first.
You're straight into it. Great.
This
happens.
Straight into it.
Okay, sure.
Andy, what do you have in front of you?
I have a deck of cards. Thanks for asking, Jason.
Okay. Now, there's also a little black
card
envelope.
A black envelope, yes.
Inside there is a prediction that I made before you even brought me along to this trip.
Wow.
Who doesn't make it back?
All right. So, what I'm going to
who's the eye off? Okay, sure.
What I'm going to get you to do now, I want you to cut the deck in half. So take roughly half off.
I've taken half of the deck and put it to the side. Everyone.
Okay, cool. Now, what I'll do is I'll just draw your attention to something else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not meant to say that. You're meant to do misdirection. You meant to just do it.
All right. Okay. Well, do you know what these are?
That looks like a coin.
Yeah. Well, they're actually special medallions, all the way from an ancient Shanghai temple.
Wow.
They're mind-reading medallions.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
Chuck them down there.
Gee,
it checks out.
All right.
Exactly.
Now,
glad they got
a good magician can predict one card.
Yep.
I'm going to predict two.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll take the top two cards. From where you cut to.
Yep.
So I want you to take the medallions and place the square on one and the circle on one. Completely free choice.
Okay, and do you want to see me do that?
Yeah, you can. It has to be face up.
And it's taking
it's completely up to you. And that's a square, not a diamond.
He's taking the square, putting it on the Queen of Hearts. He's taking the circle, he's putting it on the Nine of Spades.
Okay.
These are the two cards we have face up in front of us now. Andy is bloody riveted.
Yes.
Now, just quickly, just grab the deck and have a quick look through. Just make sure there's no
sure. Just
multiple queens or multiple nines.
Everything seems to be in order.
Yep.
Glad you got Andy to do that, because when I do magic tricks to Andy, it usually is just a deck of queens and nines. I'm a big fan of trick decks.
Okay, Jason.
Job a lot easier. So I haven't touched the prediction.
No.
Okay, check this out. Okay.
Jace is now showing us the Queen of Hearts with a square cut out of it, and the Nine of Spades with a circle cut out of it.
Just to prove there's nothing else in the envelope.
There is nothing in the envelope. Andy,
well
you've been magicked.
I feel thoroughly magicked.
And you're the guy that cut it. You cut the deck.
Yeah.
And then you had the choice to put the things down.
Yeah, I got what happened.
So suck on that, mate. It was a series of events.
Would you like me to pull the rabbit from under my kilt?
Jason, no, thank you. Keep the kilt down.
The best magic happens in the hands of
that was very impressive. Very impressive. All right, now we move on after the round of applause for
well
Jason
done.
again. Yeah,
great work, Chase. Oh no, 4 decks of cards have fallen out from under Jason's kilt. That's all gone. No, great work, Jason. All right, Lachlan, you've seen what your competitor has done. This is your chance to now become quote-unquote chief magician of the trip.
Getting ready. I've been out of the game a while.
Okay.
So
great.
When Nathan called up, I had to learn everything all again.
Yes.
Now, I know you're not a huge fan of magic.
What makes you say that? No, yeah, sure.
But say an amazing magician, you want to see them do something cool, like put their hand through, a bank vault and take some money. Like,
right, bring in the vault.
Yeah, sure.
I'm only a great magician. So
okay.
No, I'm pretty good. So, great. I asked you before. Do you got any money on you?
I do.
I'm going to do a trick with a pen and some money.
Okay.
Check it out.
Okay. Right. So I'm taking out my wallet,
and his bulging wallet comes out.
It's got like a $5 bill. Yep.
Very rare for him to have such a low denomination.
Let's go, pen. Do you want to examine the pen at all?
No, I trust you on the pen. I've just given it a little roll.
Yep. Now check out the bill. Make sure there's no holes or
no holes in it. The edges are burnt because Andy uses money to light his cigars with. But it's tough to burn a plastic note.
Get nice and close.
Okay.
I'm going to do a trick.
Yeah.
I'm going to move one object through another object.
Okay. Everyone's hunched over here.
This hurts a bit. All right.
Okay,
so you've got to give me a second. 1, 2. It hurts, but
there's no doubt that the pen has gone through the $5, right through the Queen's head, which is treason. But that's all right. We can overlook that.
That's half the trick. The real trick is getting it out.
Okay. There's a bit of magical blowing happening, and he has removed
And there's no
and
hole
there is no
in the
hole.
Dingo.
And that was Andy's $5 note. The pen has been given for inspection. It's a classic black bit.
It is a... I think Lachlan might have it.
Oh, look, he's got it! Short and sweet. Andy, a big fan of trees, and he loves to see the Queen's head stabbed, but even more, he loves to see the fact that she's okay afterwards.
Both great tricks, guys. Obvious't, the fact that the pen went straight through and straight back out. I liked the fact that it was quicker.
Well, Lachlan becomes the chief magician of the trip, which
does mean Jason just goes straight to back to being...
He's official bagpiper. So everyone's got a job.
It always helps when you have a double skill. Congratulations, Jason.
Well done, guys.
Lachlan. It's the happy hour.
All right.
Well done. Happy hour. Hamish and Andy with you. Back in the day, loved ones, Ham, even if you didn't have anyone going across, you'd go down to the wharfs and...
It seemed like a big deal, didn't it, to come down and wave a hanky or throw a poppy or...
Just bid them farewell.
Shuck a bra. Did they do that in the First Fleet days?
That was more a Tom Jones concert, I think. But,
when he was going on tour. Just imagine this is a Tom Jones tour.
So we're doing the same here. Yeah. If you have any messages of support, a telegram, if you will, for any of our First Fleet members... we'd like to hear from you now. I think we're kicking it off with Alex. Alex, welcome.
How you going?
Yeah, really
well.
good, Alex. Look, I suppose who's your message of support for? We've got all 13 of the First Fleet in front of us.
I have a message for Jason, the bagpiping magician.
Yes.
Oh, yes, right.
He's listening. He just lost a magic challenge, but his confidence is high. So at the moment, he's just the bagpiping bagpiper. But what's your message?
Well, I hope this helps them. May your bagpipes be in tune and your lungs remain full of breath. Music will be needed on this dangerous voyage. Keep the spirits up for this remarkably brave journey.
Oh, God.
Bloody brilliant.
It's really lovely.
Yes.
Really lovely.
Thank you, Alex. Yeah, fantastic.
And it is tough because it's sort of a 20-minute light plane ride out there and then a 3-minute rowboat.
Yeah.
So it's a treacherous voyage.
Chris now joins us. Chris, you there?
G'day, boys. How you going?
Yeah, really
very well.
Good, Chris.
Chris, who's your message for?
Mate, safe and loose the cheerleaders.
All right, that sounds right, Chris.
No surprises. Chris, what's your message for the cheerleaders?
Chris, are you single?
Oh, mate, not. But if you had have invited me, could have been.
Oh, right. Just taking the Big Brother approach. When you're in Queensland, do what you want. Okay, go for it, Chris. Your message for the cheerleaders.
Yeah, boys, just want to wish the girls a very safe trip and some big cheers, but also a bit of a warning, just to try and keep Ken between themselves and Ando. Prowler in international waters, never know what he'll do.
Very, very good warning, because it hasn't been lost on any that we are heading to international waters where there are no laws.
That is not true, and that's fine, and thanks very much for your call, Chris. Piss off.
Not often did someone come down to the docks and yell out warnings against the captain of the ship.
God! All right, hopefully Jenny doesn't take the same route. Jenny, you got a telegram for our fair sailors.
Yes, I do. I've got a telegram for the convict, Shannon.
Right, Shannon the convict. He's been quiet today. He's shackled up the back.
He's only been allowed one call, and this is it.
Yeah, I hope you're his lawyer. What's your
I'm
message?
actually his wife. So.
Oh,
Jenny's
your wife. Oh, good. All right.
I won't tell you the face he made.
It's joy. It's definitely joy. Jenny, what would you like to say to him?
I just hope that he's going to take some time to reflect on his conviction while he's on the island.
Yep.
And I hope he's going to learn a valuable lesson.
Yep.
But when he gets home, I'll have a good meal, warm bed waiting for him, and lots of hugs and kisses. And make sure that he roughs Ken up a bit as well, his guard.
Well, he's just chained himself to the bar here.
That is lovely. Well done, Jenny.
It's really lifted his spirits.
Yeah.
Great to see a convict get a little ray of hope, because as we do voyage off on the trip, all he'll be eating is slops for the next 24 hours.
Happy hour, Hamish and Andy with you. We're in Rockhampton, and this is the last little bit before we head off on our voyage. Our First Fleet, we are taking people back to the island we purchased earlier in the year, the cheapest island in Australia, and we plan to colonise it with a perfect cross-section, Ham, that represents the community.
And time for the captain's address.
Yep.
Now, you and I will be captains of the fleet.
Yep.
We're sort of like Captain Phillip on the original First Fleet, and it's well known that before they set sail, he just gathered everyone together and said, listen up, this is what we do when we hit Australia, and I'm not going to talk to you till then. And then it was a very reclusive man for 6 months as they were at sea. And so we're going to recreate the same situation here, Ando. We've got a few more things. We just need to make sure everyone's cool, everyone's in the right headspace before we set sail tomorrow.
And we've covered off a lot of things. We haven't talked to the tailors yet.
No.
Are you there, our tailors?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Thanks, Gavin.
How are the outfits looking, Gav?
Sharp.
Okay,
great.
good.
For anyone that doesn't know, they're sort of sports outfits that have a bit of a nautical theme printed on them.
Gavin, where will people be able to get those? Tomorrow as we head out?
No, we're actually, I think after we finish we've actually got size fittings after we finish the show today.
Yeah, great.
That's good.
We've got a bit of a 200, 300 metre nautical walk down to the shop. And then we've actually got someone who will adjust our sizes so we look absolutely.
He's an actual tailor.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic.
It's actual tailoring, yes.
We've got about 300 nautical mils to finish here in these beers. And then once we've finished that, we're all there. Okay, terrific.
Moving on to our convict and guard, Ham.
Convict, Shannon, how's your morale?
Getting pretty low, actually.
Oh, no.
What, you just heard from your wife?
Well, the support wasn't really there. I got what I wanted.
She said that as soon as you came home, she'd have a warm bed and a meal. And
that's a long time away, though.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you've got some hard labour. One day of hard labour for that. Well, you do obviously have an incentive. We haven't talked about it much, Ham, lately, but...
Well. I mean, you're the convict. On the first fleet, a lot of the convicts were there for stealing bread. That's why we present to you this, the golden loaf. If you are able to steal the golden loaf off Andy and I, we will undo the shackles and you will be taken off slops as your only food.
Yes.
I will take that loaf.
Okay.
We're getting that made on a T-shirt.
Stay alert now, our guards.
But Ken,
stay alert.
You're his military minder. Stop him from getting the loaf, okay?
Yeah, I will have that loaf.
No, that's not.
You steal it.
I knew we shouldn't have got the convict's best mate to be his +1.
All right, okay, moving along. We have Trudy, our cow. Trudy, agreed that you'll be, as soon as we set foot on the island, in full cow outfit?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Great.
We just expect a lot of grazing.
Just stay mobile out there. Keep moving, keep grazing. Hit some shade up. There's not a lot, but if you can find some, stay hydrated. And Damo, as Trudy's +1 as a farmer, keep the fluids up.
I'll look out for her.
Okay, great. You're not allowed to go over any fences.
Or walk upstairs because you can't walk down them again.
I can.
Good cow.
Smart cow.
Really good cow.
Our cheerleaders.
Yeah, best Australian cheerleaders.
Is it possible for you, we can get a small cheer from you guys just to really lift morale for everyone? Okay.
All right.
Okay, they gave you about a minute to put this together. No pressure, guys. Remember, we're all part of the First Fleet.
We've got a winning First Fleet. The People's Island can't be beat. It may be small, but sure is grand. Let's go and colonise this land.
Yeah. Hands in.
Oh. I almost want to go straight away. And the Enigma, we don't want to hear from you. Just play your natural game out there, okay?
He's just giving us a quiet thumbs up in the background there.
All we've got time for this afternoon. Be sure to go to hamishandy.com, see all the characters there. And
guys, the next time you hear our voices, we will be on the People's Island.
Yes.
The cow will be wandering around. The chief magician will be setting up for his show. The bagpipes will be roaring. The convict will be trying to steal the golden loaf. We'll be in our uniform. The cheerleaders will be running amok.
We look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Thanks for listening to the Hamish and Andy podcast. To contribute to the show, head to hamishandandy.com/topics. This is the Hamish and Andy Show podcast. Good afternoon. If you're listening to this, we bring you distressing news. As many people would be aware, today Hamish and Andy were due to make landfall on the People's Island off the coast of northern Queensland with a total of 13 crew members. As of 2 hours ago, no one has heard from this brave seafaring party. Now, a Dutch shipping vessel has just picked up this emergency radio broadcast.
Help! The cop has lost all control of the convict! Trudy the cow has gone bananas! The Enigma! Where's the Enigma? One of the magicians has taken on too much seawater and lost his powers!
There's no denying it's chilling audio. Friends, I know in our hearts we want to believe the First Fleet is safe and well. But we have to admit that there are rough seas out there, and in all likelihood, there's absolutely no way anyone could have survived. Oh, hang on. we've just received another broadcast picked up by that Dutch vessel.
Yeah, sorry about before, Dutchies. Everything's fine. We're only at sea for 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, we got a bit carried away and, sorry, we're on the island now, though. All good.
As I was saying, Hamish and Andy and the First Fleet have arrived safely, as I always knew they would. We now rescan frequencies and pick up the show, broadcasting to you directly from the island that, as a listener of this show, you also own. It's the Happy Hour from the People's Island.
Eureka, everyone! Normally reserved for finding gold, but we've found a golden land, Ham. We are on the People's Island. We do have our First Fleet. Everyone is accounted for.
It is stunning. It is a beautiful day here on the People's Island where some, I don't know, I keep forgetting to check it exactly. I think it's about 20 k's off the coast of Queensland. We're sat here. The First Fleet is sat in front of us. A few small rudimentary tents have already been pitched as we colonise the island that a few months ago, Ando, you and I organised. We've got a 99-year lease on this island from the Queensland government. It's for us, it's for the show, it's for the people.
Exactly.
It is the People's Island. Now, everyone is here from the First Fleet, except Trudy the cow, who has gone off to graze. She's been at sea for many, many minutes.
Needed to stretch her legs.
She needed to stretch her legs, get some grass in. She's gone off with her farmer.
Hey, it's exciting. We've got a perfect cross-section of the community.
We do, Ando.
That's why we're out here, to spend the rest of our lives together and hopefully build a society.
I see no reason to leave, except food, water and shelter.
So much to get through in the next hour. I mean, our settlers here are keen to run off and claim their own land.
Yeah, guys, we do need you to just stay with us for a moment.
Exactly.
I know it's been an exciting voyage to get here, but before you go and lay claim to different bits and pieces and give word to your families back home...
Which is hard because there's no phone reception.
That you've set it up. Yeah, the antenna's not working. But even so, stay with us. We've got a few colony meetings we need to get through
but
before
by the end
we
of the
release
hour,
you.
We will declare the island's open for settlement.
You can begin your life on the island.
Happy Hour! Hamish and Andy with you. Haim, we are currently on the People's Island, everyone. If you've just tuned in, welcome. You own an island. It's a beauty, actually, and it's a beautiful day. We purchased this earlier on the year. We said we vowed, Ham, that we'd come back here and settle it with the perfect cross-section of society.
And that's who we've got, Ando. This has been a dream, months and months in the making, and today we've set foot back on the island with the First Fleet.
Yes.
13 people that represent every walk of life and all 13 jobs you can have in society. And one of those jobs is being a convict.
Yep.
We wanted to honour the initial convicts that travelled to Australia, but also... we didn't want to take too many, so just one seemed appropriate. Shannon was our convict.
Yep.
Shannon, how's your night been?
Night wasn't too bad.
Yep.
It was a bit hard sleeping in shackles, but I guess I'll learn.
Sure. I mean, they are generous shackles. You can actually do the YMCA in them. So.
You can almost skip them.
We have been fairly sweet with the shackles. But
it was a fairly unruly night for the First Fleet. We're in Rockhampton yesterday. The motel, the owner, I think, came out and asked people to stop bagpiping, as well as stop cracking a whip.
I think the cheerleaders were doing backflips down the hallway.
Yeah.
Essentially, the First Fleet of refugees. We've been kicked out of Australia. And we're now here on the People's Island. We don't have the option to go back, and nor do we want to, because we're in the most perfect spot on Earth. We do need to draw everyone's attention back to yesterday. Shannon, when we shackled you up, we gave you two clear instructions. One was you could only eat slops, which is all you've been eating. The other was if you stole the golden loaf, which was a sort of a hark back to the days where you could get sent to Australia for stealing a loaf of bread. If you got your hands on the golden loaf, you got unshackled. Now... We threw that out on yesterday's show, and then everyone just sort of mucked around. We had a few beers. We were at the pub. Fair's fair. Annie and I weren't paying too much attention to the golden loaf. We probably had planned to, really look after it today.
Yeah. We thought maybe that he'd make a play for it today.
Maybe last night, maybe today. Nothing was really stipulated.
Yeah.
You got your hands on the golden loaf, we found out, within about 3 minutes of the show ending. Now, we love a good convict as much as the next guy.
Yeah.
You saw your opportunity, you took it. And that's what we bloody love about you as a convict.
Yep.
We do have to stand by our word. We said if you could get your hands on the golden loaf, you'd be declared a free man. Now, you travelled out here in chains, sir, but I think it's only fair you become a free man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, I guess.
Yeah, that's
Well, no,
that's a
don't
nice
thank
thing.
us.
Yeah.
Thank the sloppy security of the Golden Lobe.
Yeah, and the guard. I think that's the problem.
Now, Andy and I are captains of the island.
Yep.
I've obviously got my machete on. It's the machete I bought to this island months ago when we first came to inspect. There's no key to the shackles, and I think it would be a great symbolic gesture and great for colony morale if I macheted the chains off.
So, Shannon,
please.
if you're game,
Just for legals, we need you to comply. Yeah, you happy with that?
What do I need to sign?
Yeah, okay.
No. You're still a convict, so you got no rights.
In fact, if someone could let him borrow their sunnies, so at least we've got a little bit of eye protection.
There we go. Sunnies are coming from the crowd.
Just
pop your shackles.
worried people. Pop the shackles down.
What's the best way to do this? There's a few worried sounds from the crowd. Thank God, Trudy the cow, who is a mum and probably the most responsible on the trip, she's off wandering the island.
Shannon's.
What do you reckon, Shannon? Do I just come over from this way?
I'm not sure. I think
because if I come this way,
you might.
It might chop your head off.
That's true. If you go towards him, so if you're going from over his back, what do you
want to
think?
spin around this way and put the shackles across there? Sorry, Ando, just figuring out the logistics.
Yeah, exacally. It
God,
feels like
in movies when they do this,
it seems a lot easier.
So I guess we just hit it there, don't we?
Okay. This is so stupid.
This is why you get your own island.
You can do whatever you want.
Guys, I was really hoping for more of a spectacle to wow you, and the only noise I'm hearing from the crowd is, oh no.
Hamish is now standing above. Shannon seems pretty relaxed about the whole thing. I wouldn't be.
Shannon, last name. What's your last name?
Wood.
Shannon Wood. You came to this island a convict, but now, in an awesome spectacle of machete skill, I declare you, by the power vested in me by my special top, a free man!
It's like an
yes! The chains of convictdom are broken!
And no legal battles have been launched against the show.
And absolutely no limbs came off either. Obviously, we don't have another suit for you, so you'll be dressed as a convict. But you are a free man. Everyone, Shannon gets all the legal rights of a free man. You can now settle, find a wife.
If you want.
I know you've got a wife on the mainland, but
she might not have waited.
Geez, if the postcode rule applies, then certainly the island rule applies. Not to you, Zoe, if you're listening.
It's the happy hour.
What a day we're having out here. It is an absolute blisteringly hot day. It's bloody gorgeous here on the island.
But we can talk about that until the cows come home.
And here is the cow, Trudy the cow. Trudy, she nominated herself as the cow for the island. We were told when we got the island that there were cows on it. We were shattered to find out that was a real estate agent lie.
But it happens, they often say that you've got room for 2 cars or it's a 3-bedroom. It's really just 2 in a study.
It's a deluxe courtyard. Be honest, it's a light well.
So we were promised 2 cows on the island. They didn't come through, and so Trudy, a mother, has said that she could possibly be the cow for us, and she sits
children's book author by day, cow by Friday, as she has come to the island. How are you feeling, Trude?
I'm feeling good, hey?
Great.
Is it hot? It would be very hot inside. We're in a tropical paradise here near the Great Barrier Reef.
I don't think I know the story behind why you have a cow outfit. Why do you have a cow outfit?
I have a picture book story which has a character called Matilda Rose.
Yep.
And she looks incredibly like this cow. I saw this cow suit advertised on eBay.
Yep.
And thought I couldn't get over how much it looked like my character.
Yep.
So I bought it.
You're a lady after my own heart. You just can't have too many costumes at home.
Yep.
Now, the thing I love about this cow is it's got pants. It's got yellow pants. And, I mean, it was a slightly demoralising situation when you first landed. Your pants fell down.
I have lost a little bit of weight since the last time I had the suit
The cow was at sea for a long time, and we couldn't afford to feed it too much.
But, for authorities out there, the cow was brought out here under perfect circumstances.
I've been quarantined.
Yeah,
You're one of the healthiest cows we've ever had on the island. Now, we sent you off for a graze. You're still in your full cow suit.
Your brother, the farmer, was rounding you up as before. I did like that he was getting into it. He had a big stick as well.
He hit me with the stick.
He did hit you with the stick.
Well, I mean,
people are really getting into the spirit of things.
Yeah, there's no laws out here. I've just chopped some chains off with a machete. So
He shoved grass in my face and hit me with the stick.
yeah, well, we're bound to have a lawsuit by the end of the hour. I'm sure our radio bosses are listening to this going, what is going on that island?
As the only grazer so far, I mean, we've asked most of our fleet to stay here because we've got a few things to get through before they go and claim their land. You've probably seen the most of the island. Initial impressions from a cow?
Some greener pastures over yonder.
Yeah,
really?
Right.
I think I did spy an attractive young native cow.
Did you really?
I think I can actually see myself settling down here and starting a road.
Well, this is exactly the kind of message we want cows listening to get.
Yeah, exactly.
If we're going to promote the island.
He's my bull.
Sorry, gotcha. Well, I've got news for you. Bulls aren't monogamous. You can try your best to make him settle down, but it'll be tough.
Now, you went around to kind of the left-hand side. That is where Lovers Cove is. So if you do meet your bull there, a romantic night might take you away, which would be fantastic.
Now, so I mean, is the island to you, being one of the first settlers, is it bigger than you imagined?
It is bigger than I thought.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's not massive. We know that.
No, it's not. It's not massive.
But remember, we're trying to talk it up here. This is the tourism campaign.
Yeah. It's bigger and greener. It could do with a bit more shade.
Yeah.
Shade's an issue? Yeah, sure. I mean, we're not putting that on the postcard, but we might put the first bit on the postcard. It's bigger and greener than you'd think.
It's lovely to have our cow back here. Cows for milking, not for eating at this point, isn't it, Hem?
You're absolutely, you're part of the family.
Yeah.
You won't be slaughtered. Yeah. Not deliberately anyway, but you've seen me with the machete. Accidents can and do happen. Now, after this song, Trude, we thought we'd get everyone to help us out with a little something. You're a very special member of the First Fleet here as the cow. There's another man that's travelling with us purely just to be fascinating.
Yes.
I mean, everyone else has a job except this man, and that, of course, is the Enigma.
Yeah.
Did you have a run-in with the Enigma yesterday at all, Trude? Or
speak to him at all?
Could you get a handle on him?
I was actually fooled a bit by the Enigma.
Yeah,
I thought I'd befriend him because he was eating a veggie burger, and I thought, here's a vegetarian.
Yeah, right.
Somebody I should be nice to.
Yeah, right. But I mean, he'll do that to just make you up. Then next thing you know, he'll be eating a live pig. So, because that's the kind of guy the Enigma is.
Yeah.
What we want to do next, the Enigma's fascinating. It's always more fun to find out about the Enigma secondhand. So we're going to go to a song here, but go around the First Fleet and find out what other people have found out about the Enigma.
Happy hour! Hamish and Andy with you. We are on the People's Island. We've travelled here with our First Fleet. The tailors have done a brilliant job, Ham. I mean, the outfits are amazing.
Stunning. It's basically a sports outfit with ye olde prints on top.
Yeah, so it does look like a little scarf, a little vest on.
A little necktie. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. Make sure you go to hamishandandy.com.
Please.
Photos are up now.
Today's show has to be the most remote radio show happening on planet Earth today.
Yeah.
We're out, 20 k's or so off the Queensland coast. We're on the People's Island. We flew in by light plane to a neighbouring island that we have a peace treaty with.
Yep.
We then took a small boat across to the People's Island.
Yep, a guy called Pete was the captain of that.
He's currently sunbaking, just watching the show. He's giving us a wave. He's just sunbaking on a boat. Pete's been the caretaker of the neighbouring island for 30 years. And when you meet Pete, frantic, uptight and panicked are not words that spring to mind for Pete. But Ando,
there's someone more mysterious than Pete amongst us.
Yeah, there is.
We asked for two pink things only for this trip, and the rest has sorted itself out. We wanted a convict.
Yeah.
And we wanted an enigma. Someone who was mysterious. Someone who would go walk amongst the group, but no one quite understood or knew what he was about.
Someone that raised more questions than they answered. And the enigma, I mean, he sort of fell into our lap a bit. It was his brother that nominated. He doesn't listen to the show, and that's sort of perfect. That's what we wanted.
Yep.
He is such a great enigma that we had people yesterday questioning if we'd set the enigma up.
Yep.
I mean, it's like when The Bachelor happened, and people went, is he an actor?
Yes.
He's saying these incredible things. He's a genuine enigma. He's staring at us right now,
Imagine the enigma
unbroken.
Was the next Bachelor.
I want you to be the next Bachelor, Mike. I mean, I think it'd be so exciting.
Are you single, Mike?
No, he's not single.
All right, well, can't. Bad luck, Channel 10.
One of the rare times you get an answer out of him.
Get your hands off him. So we left him amongst the group.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to make his own way to the pub yesterday.
He's the only guy that doesn't have a +1. And he's in a sense, he doesn't have a +1, but he has a +12.
Yes.
Because everybody loves the Enigma.
And we would like to start by asking the rest of the fleet, what have you learned about the Enigma? Normally the answer's not much, or if you get one answer, it promotes another 12 questions.
Yeah.
But we'll start with Lachlan, our magician. Lachlan, what have you learned about the Enigma over the last 24 hours?
I found out last night that he is a freelance circus performer.
You see, that's great. That is exactly the kind of guy you want the Enigma to be.
Lachlan, what was your second question there? Like, what type of performance?
And how do you become freelance? Like, what? Like, you're not part of a big corporation? Don't want to get tied down by the system?
I asked which circus he performed for. He said, whoever needs him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay. Gun for hire.
Clown for hire, yep.
Jeez, okay. Nathan, our psychologist, what have you... I mean, you would be able to delve deep into this mind.
This is a case study for you. You could do a PhD on the Enigma.
What did you learn about the Enigma, Nate?
Yeah, look, I haven't learned much about the Enigma. I've learnt lots about everyone else, but I haven't seen him sleep. And I've talked to a few of the other First Fleeters, and no one's seen him sleep. So we don't think he sleeps.
What was the earliest you saw him up?
6 a.m. this morning, just fully dressed, walking around the street.
Jeez.
Vampire Enigma.
Well, he's not, because he's out in the sun.
Daylight.
He's
Yeah,
out
no,
in daylight.
you'd be cooking right now.
Yeah.
All right.
That's incredible. All right, Steve, our fisherman. First of all, Steve, I understand you got up particularly early, and you actually have gone and caught fish on the island.
That's correct, yes. Yeah, I caught a few for breakfast.
Congratulations.
Well done. What sort of fish are we talking?
Oh, I don't know, small ones.
Yeah, they're the easiest.
All right, Steve, what have you learnt about the
speaking
Enigma?
to him yesterday, he did tell me that he thinks he holds the world record for the most Salvador Dali tattoos.
Really?
Yeah.
He does. Oh, we didn't notice this yesterday because he was long sleeve, long pants, but today...
He's showing us now. He's got, what are we doing, six tattoos of Salvador Dali paintings or drawings.
And that's on the skin we can see.
Who knows how many he's got? He's not saying anything. He's just presenting his arms to us in true Enigma style.
With a huge grin.
And
All right.
Yeah, it could well be a world record.
Sophie, one of our cheerleaders, what have you learned about the Enigma?
I did hear some rumours that he's dabbled in Chinese pole dancing. So
I don't even know what that is. Do you know what that is?
Is that just is it just a pole in China, or is it different? Is it
erotic?
I'm not sure. He hasn't actually shown us any yet. So.
Okay, there's not a lot of
I can't
poles
handle
there.
this. I have to ask the Enigma.
Okay, Hamish is wandering across to the Enigma.
You've cracked me, Enigma.
We're on a smaller knoll at the moment.
What?
Hamish is going down into a smaller valley to chat to the Enigma.
Mike the Enigma, what is Chinese pole dancing?
Well, I do Chinese pole and pole dancing.
Okay, so what's Chinese pole?
Chinese pole, it's kind of similar to pole dancing, only you keep your clothes on.
Yep.
And it's more of a waltz.
Yeah, well, it's more about strength and transitions and that.
Yeah, okay.
So do people go to a pole dancing club for Chinese or Chinese pole dancing club and
excited ladies put dollar bills in your strength man suit?
They do when I'm stripping.
Okay.
Have you actually stripped before, be honest?
Yes.
This is amazing.
All right.
Okay.
From all the stuff we've learnt, the world record tattoos, the fact that you might not sleep, Chinese pole dancing, every little fact we found out about you, what percentage of your personality have we now gleaned an insight into?
5.
5? Incredible.
Who is this man?
That's the happy hour, Hamish and Andy.
It's the show we've been waiting for all year, really. We're broadcasting to you from the People's Island with our first fleet, 13 brave souls from the mainland who've come out to colonise the island that you and I organised a 99-year lease on from the Queensland government. Obviously, when it's thriving, the shame is we'll have to give it back to the government in 2000.
Back in the day,
2113.
How many women came out?
There was stacks.
Stacks?
Yeah, you needed some ladies.
Obviously, if you're going to kind of create a society, you do need...
Yeah, you needed stacks.
Yeah, you need stacks. Do we have enough?
Enough to colonise it. Well, we just saw the cheerleaders shaking their head going, no, you don't have enough. Look, I mean, the fortunate thing is we're only 200 metres away from another island that has an airstrip, so we have the availability
to fly some...
If you need to get DJ Havana Brown here quick smart, I can easily organise that.
No, it's just more that if... I mean, sitting back was exciting to take an extra magician, for instance.
Yep.
But if you were trying to repopulate an area and start a society... You know, I'd be looking at the magician going, probably could have used...
Could you magic up a baby for me?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of challenges, though, I mean, our convict, Shannon, he was a convict at the start of the show. He's now been freed through a very traditional ceremony of macheteing off his chains.
Yep.
He revealed to me just now that he was interested in swimming back to the neighbouring island. That was his plan all along. If we hadn't have freed him, he was going to try and swim in shackles back to the other island. And then he challenged the captain, Andy, to a swimming race.
Okay. I'm interested.
Really? Because I just think, I mean, wouldn't it be great to recreate that moment? Remember when Captain Phillip landed at Sydney Cove and he said to that convict, if you can beat me to Manly, then you're free.
Happy hour, Hamish and Andy with you. We are on the People's Island, an island we purchased off the Queensland government. Cheapest island we could find around about 4 months ago, Ham.
One of the tiniest islands in Australia, but geez, it's got the biggest heart. Finally, we're here, the People's Island. We've got our first fleet with us, 13 brave souls from the mainland who've come to colonise this island. every imaginable walk of society we've got with us, Ando.
Yep.
The Enigma sits proudly chewing on a piece of grass, as you would expect him to do, as we sit here baking in the hot sun under the no shade of the island.
That's true. You just raised something from the convict. Who has been unshackled at the start of the
He's
day.
now a free man. His name's Shannon. He arrived here as a convict. Shannon, how's life as a free man? You enjoying it?
Yeah, definitely better.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Now, Shannon, the gauntlet's been laid for a captain versus convict race back to the mainland over there, a neighbouring island called Marble Island. How far do you reckon that is?
It'd be a couple hundred metres.
Yeah.
I was only really planning on making it, though. I wasn't actually planning on winning.
Okay. So,
well, I mean, maybe it's more of a sort of a Susie Maroney and friend kind of like, let's just Thelma and Louise style swim. Just let's do it together.
I feel like if the convict was to try to escape, it would be funny if the captain tried to chase him down.
Now we're talking. Okay. For team morale, I think we would all like to see the convict run into the water, start swimming, and the captain maybe give him a good 30-second.
Well, 30 seconds might be a bit too much because I'm not sure. Are you much of a swimmer?
Not for a long time.
Okay, well, I heard from the cow that you used to play water polo.
Yes.
At a very high level.
Reasonably high, yes.
Okay, so he's a swimmer, guys. He's playing doggo.
Can you trust a convict?
You can't trust a convict.
What's rule 101 with the settlement?
Yeah, exactly. So
I
there will be a small lead.
A 30-second head start
30
seems fair.
seconds. He'll get there in 30 seconds.
It's like when that convict escaped Tasmania and Van Diemen swam after him and got him.
He'll have a 10-metre head start, and we didn't actually allow
10
time.
metres?
Well, if he's a water polo, he's a national water polo player.
How long ago did you play, Shannon?
I haven't played at any sort of level for about 10 years.
What was the highest?
Mate, I was probably playing for Australia 10 years ago. Who can remember what you were doing 10 years ago?
What's the highest level of water polo you got to?
Nationals.
Come on, Captain.
He's an Australian water polo player. He gets a 10-metre head start.
How would you describe your fitness these days?
What fitness?
Okay. All right.
You're wearing horizontal stripes, so it's not flattering.
All right, straight after the show, as everyone goes to find their
we'll have to put it on the website. The classic captain chasing the convict race will happen. The traditional captain v the convict race. And what happens when you get him by the ankle? You've won?
I suppose so.
I mean, do you have to overtake him, or do you just have to catch him?
Yeah, I suppose.
And then we'll pick you up in a boat.
If I can tag him, we'll both celebrate the race and go and hopefully get there together. I think that'd be fun. Anyway,
right now we've got more important island business to deal with.
Yeah.
As you guys know, and thank you, the colony at the moment, if you've been to the website and seen the People's Island, hamishandy.com, we're huddled down at the one end of the island, DJ Havana Brown Point.
The north end.
The north end. We haven't been to the western side of the island. No one's actually ever set foot over there.
Yeah.
We need to send a brave explorer, but we need to send someone that can get a signal back to us when they get there. Obviously, there's no phone reception out here because we're in the middle of the bloody ocean. So, we're sending our bagpiper. Jace, how you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good. Bit nervous, but...
Well, I mean, no one's gone out there and ever returned.
Oh, that's something to think about.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Jace,
not too much. It might freak you out. You never go.
We want you to know that if you don't make it back, the colony will sing great songs about you.
Oh, that's great.
Shanties,
that's all I need,
etc. You're taking your pipes with you. They're sort of like an audio flare. When you hit that side of the island, because it's well beyond where we can see, there's sort of rocks and hills in the way. Start piping.
Over in my kilt.
Start piping, and we'll know that you're there. That'll be your signal.
And as soon as we hear the piping ham, we'll make the final declaration.
I suppose we'll know the island is safe, and we'll be able to release the colony to claim whatever piece of the island they want. Are you ready to go, Jace?
All right, that sounds good.
It's sort of like a musical Burke and Wills.
All right, no worries.
Try not to die.
It's the happy hour.
Legally, I have to say that.
Happy hour. Hamish and Andy with you. We're on the People's Island. Our final moment, Ham.
This is
on
it,
the People's
Ando.
Island for this show. We have just, if you've just joined us, welcome. We're in a small island. It's the People's Island. You own it. It's on its way to the Great Barrier Reef. It's pretty beautiful.
It's a stunning island, guys. We
recommend some sunblock.
Recommend you absolutely get out here. Oh, yeah. She's hot.
Or a Legionnaire's cape that goes all the way to the bottom because it's bloody hot out here.
Yeah, geez, if you could bring out about 1 square kilometre of shade cloth and put it up for us, we'd be so appreciative if you're the next person on the island.
But, Haim, we are so thrilled that the First Fleet joined us. An amazing cross-section of the community. Yeah. Cheerleaders, tailors, psychologists, magicians.
All the important stuff.
And
enigmas.
Yes. Sailors, fishermen, cows. And we have sent our bagpiper off to explore an area that we've never explored
The Western Front.
And when he gets there, if he's alive, he will pipe for us. If we hear that piping, we know that the island's safe, and then we hope to do the final declaration of colonisation before you guys can run off and plot out whatever parts of the land you might want
Just
to
grab
keep.
bits and pieces. Obviously, just keep a little bit free for the casino we're still planning to build. But
Similar to that scene in Far and Away with Tom Cruise.
Just haven't seen it, but heard good things. No, I haven't heard much. And the sad fact is, I mean, for people that are familiar with radio, you notice what we're doing right now is padding, because we haven't heard the pipes.
We're hoping for the pipes.
Which either means he's dead or he just hasn't made it over to the other side of the island yet.
We would also like the Enigma who has bought a whip to crack the whip to declare the island over.
Pipes.
Okay, he's made it.
He's alive.
He's alive. He's doing the national
Either
anthem.
that.
He's doing the anthem of the island.
He's doing the anthem. Or a pirate has got him
and
is piping a false signal back to us. Either way, we'll take it as a fact that the western side exists. He's cleared the western front. The whole island's been discovered.
Well done. That's how big it is, guys. It doesn't take
Colony,
long.
gather round.
Yes.
Come in. Let's get a huddle happening, guys. Very much like the famous oil painting that hangs in the Sydney National Library of the First Fleet's huddle.
Yeah.
When they hit Sydney Cove.
It's time for the declaration of colonisation of the People's Island.
Let all who roam upon the island be free men and women, even if they were previously convicts. Shannon, that one's for you. Let no one urinate on DJ Havana Brown Point.
You can if you want.
No, you can't.
Okay. Let the national food be slops.
May enigmas be welcome on this island, but never understood.
May the national sport be cheerleading.
May James Packer eventually get back to our repeated requests of just building a small boutique casino on the island.
Come on, James.
May each child reared here be given a machete upon their 8th birthday if they have never set foot off the island in return for living here.
May all business done in the kind of way of rearing children be done in Lovers Cove.
Yes. May the Children's Machete Festival become a popular tourist event for the island, along the lines of Glastonbury, Burning Man, etc.
May the phone reception improve.
Yes, please.
So that our 6-metre antenna that doesn't work may someday shrink to about 4.5 metres.
That'd be lovely. Is this sort of like when the Declaration of Independence, they like just checked in a few things for themselves too, like, I'd love a sandwich. May this island hereby be colonised by the people and a cow, for the people and a cow. Uponst the cracking of the whip, settlers, disperse and claim your land on the people's island. May the whip be cracked by the Enigma.
He's cracking. Go, guys, go.
Go, claim your
whatever
island.
you want.
Run, flee, get the good stuff. Head to the high ground. Head to the high ground. That's it for the people's island. Mayhem, pandemonium down here.
Everyone ran off and then realised the grass had touched too high and there could be snakes.
There has been less running off than we anticipated.
It's funny when you tell people to run and claim something, they initially go and then realise,
actually,
this is no point in doing
I've left my stuff back near my seat.
It's all we've got time for this afternoon. HamishDandy.com for anything you may have missed. Videos are up now. There's also pictures of the island, all the First Fleet, as well as the Rockhampton shows. We're in the pub. We'll be back on Monday with the results of the captain versus convict race.
There'll be so much more info from the island across the weekend on Monday. But on behalf of Andy and I too, we'd just like to thank our First Fleet. What a bloody brave band of souls you've been. Unbelievable representation of the people. And thank you to everyone that's listening. You own the island and it's now colonised.
We'll see you Monday.
Have a great one.
Thanks for listening to the Hamish and Andy podcast. To contribute to the show, head to hamishandandy.com/topics.
3, 2, 1.
I'm a pro DJ and I've been spinning the decks like mad, but I haven't had a chance to spin a yarn about
burning the people's island.
At school, we've been learning a lot of pointless dribble. Finally, I get to learn about
Cure for Monday-itis, burn an island.
Well, everyone's agreed to drop everything because it's 3 o'clock. And Hamish and Andy have declared today's topic is...
The island's a witch! Burning the island.
This is Hamish and Andy's Happy Hour.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hamish and Andy with you, back from the weekend, Ham, and excited because, yes, you heard correctly.
We burnt the People's Island
I know
to a cinder.
I know that sounds terrible.
Not to me.
It's I know because you were there. But if everyone's prized possession, an island that we purchased on behalf of the people, and then we've burnt it. For instance, if
we just burnt the top.
If we'd got a house on behalf of the people, and
we burnt the thatched roof.
Yes,
for regenerative purposes. Here's the thing we didn't know:
roof will grow back,
lusher than ever. We didn't understand after we finished Friday's show from the People's Island off the coast of Rockhampton. Everyone was having a great time. Then the caretaker at the next door neighbouring island says, "Listen, if you guys want to have some fun, flick a match at the island." We went, like, what is... We live in the city, Pete. That's not really a term that we legally use. He goes, oh, yeah, every year we have to backburn it to get rid of all the old dead grass.
Yeah.
There's no animals on there. There's nothing on there. We've got the permits. You burn it, then it regenerates. And we went,
wow.
Are you telling us that at sunset we can set this sucker alight? He said, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
So we did that.
We did.
And there was
again, the First Fleet, not renowned for burning the country they'd landed on.
And there were some hairy moments. We've got that to you by the end of the show. But, Ham, we did return from the People's Island as of the weekend. There was many things that happened just after the show, including a convict v. captain swim-off.
Well, the convict that we took with us, Ando, he challenged you to a swimming race. Yeah. You gave him a head start.
Yes.
Was that foolish?
Yes.
Or was that the ultimate cool move as you caught him by the ankle?
Because we're still wanting to get...
Oh, no one knows what the result was.
Yeah. Who knows what it was? It was foolish. It's the happy hour.
After the show on the People's Island...
Yep.
You know, it was a situation where we needed health cover. Things got progressively more dangerous as the night wore on.
Turn a bit at Lord of the Flies. We should point out to everyone, and you should go to hamishandy.com. There are videos up there of your whole First Fleet. These are the people, a perfect cross-section of the community that we took back to the People's Island to basically colonise it, inhabit it.
There's also a video there of the name registry, which if you've been listening to the show for a long time, we gave people the opportunity to register their name. Mm-hmm. Since everyone that listens to the show is an owner of the island, we said, look, we're going to read out your names. Got to about 5,000 names on the registry. Yep. Obviously, we're lazy, so we got a computer to read them out. But we did sit there for an hour and a half listening to the computer read out the names, and the full boring video of that is also at hamishandy.com.
I'm not convinced all the names were real.
That's true. Yeah. There was a wonderful selection of fakies in there too. But everyone who registered did get a gig. And more importantly than that, though, after the show, there was a swimming race that was challenged.
Yes.
The convict that we took to the island on Friday.
He planned to make a run
for it. He called you out specifically, and he said, I think if I leapt off the island and swam back to the neighbouring island, I, the convict, could outswim the authorities, being Andy Lee.
Yeah.
You looked at him and he said, mate, you don't know what you're talking about. I once did a charity swim, what was it, 6 years ago now?
Yeah.
Where you were the slowest registered entrant.
No, let's not go into that story.
All I went off was the results in the paper, mate. That's how I remember it.
They printed a retraction.
I didn't read that.
Due to administration error, yes.
You're the slowest registered entrant.
I got beaten by an 82-year-old.
I thought he's picked the right guy to swim against here. He's gonna make it off the island.
Plenty of practice since then, Heb. But yes, I was.
And he's crushing 75-year-olds these days.
We were looking at the convict, Shannon, who he's not as svelte. Would you say, Heb?
I wouldn't say he's the fittest guy I'd ever seen.
No,
lovely bloke.
Yeah.
And wearing horizontal stripes too. He's wearing black and white stripes. And you were looking at him. We were both sizing him up. And Andy just sort of went, look, I think I've got this guy. I'll give him a 20 or 30 metre head start.
Yeah.
He can run into the water. I'll chase after him. We'll recreate one of the scenarios of that early settlers had, which is chasing convicts through the water.
Exactly. Well, if one went for a run for it, guess it was one of the soldiers manoeuvre to try and chase him down and get him.
Big time.
And that was my role, and this is how it went down.
All right, here we are. It's post the First Fleet show. We've all come. We've settled the island. The island's been colonised.
Yeah.
But the business of the island is far from over. Standing here with a captain of the colony, Andy Lee. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks.
And a former convict, reformed convict of the colony, Shannon. How you going?
Pretty good.
A lot of people would remember in 1801... Paul Van Diemen, who was obviously the king of Van Diemen's Land at the time. Stan Jenkins, one of the famous convicts down there. Stan fled and tried to swim across Bass Strait. Paul chased after him and got him by the ankle.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we're really doing is recreating that famous Jenkins-Van Diemen race.
So, Shannon, I think it's fair that, say if I stand up here on the knoll and you run down, and as soon as you get the water,
then that's when I can go. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, the other captain of the colony thinks that's fair. As the adjudicator of this race, then I'm going to jump in the boat, and we'll track you guys.
Yeah.
Now, I say we're tracking you mostly for filming purposes for the website and to be able to record audio. 70% of me feels it will need to be there because I think you're going to get hit by the tide and you'll need rescuing.
That tide it's honking, really. There's no other description for what that tide is doing.
All right, gentlemen, convict. Be you convict or be you captain of the colony?
Can I stipulate that he does a higher than usual knee lift on his run, so it's a bit like Benny Hill, and I will certainly shake my hand.
Yes, we'll make sure the footage is shown at 3 to 4 times the speed.
Welcome. We've returned back from the People's Island where we tried to colonise it over the weekend with the First Fleet last Friday's show. And it was towards the end of our show on the island where the convict stood up and he challenged myself, the captain, to a swimming race.
It's a bold move from a convict, but it happened a lot in the early days of settling Australia where if a convict could race a figure of authority, they would win their freedom, particularly if they could swim Bass Strait.
Yes.
That was always a very handy manoeuvre to have up your sleeve. It's a tough strait to swim.
The equivalent of our Bass Strait was a small stretch of water, probably about 400 metres or so.
Something like that, yeah.
In between Marble Island, a neighbouring island, and the People's Island. We were nervous that there was a bit of a current running through that little section.
It looked like a tough swim, Ando. You generously given Shannon, who was regarded by all onlookers to be the least fit of the duo.
Yes.
You've given him about a 20 or 30 metre head start.
Correct.
And I believe we pick up the action as I'm in the boat. We're just maybe a couple of metres to the right of you guys.
Yep.
Keeping a very, very slow pace with the race.
We're about to run down a 30 metres stretch of just rocks, essentially, because our island doesn't have a nice
lot of hobbling.
beach
There was a lot of hobbling into the water.
before jumping into the water. This
Good
is how
luck.
we're down. Thanks.
All right, on the chase boat. We are moving off the island, getting ready to watch the convict versus captain race. Pete, you know nothing about this race. You've just been on the boat all day. Who do you reckon's going to win, Andy or Shannon?
I reckon Shannon's got a good chance.
I mean, I didn't want to say it to his face, but he's not the slimmest of convicts.
No, that's right. But sometimes those big buoyant people just keep going and going.
He's got a bloody big engine. He's all engine.
That's right.
All right, convict, ready! On your mark! Get set! Go, Shannon! Andy gave Shannon a generous 30-metre head start, which might have given Shannon a bit too much confidence. Shannon's backstroking. Shannon's backstroking to keep an eye on Andy. I think Shannon's got it doing backstroke. At some stage, I think Shannon's going to switch from backstroke to front stroke. What an amazing strategy! Andy is closing the gap now. It's probably only 20 metres between captain and convict, steaming through the water. He wants to catch that convict's ankle. Now Shannon's breaststroking. Go, Shannon! Oh, yeah, Shannon has stopped and he's given Andy the bird, and he's now started freestyling again. Well, there you have it. If there was any doubt about Shannon's criminality before, he really proved his role as a convict by giving Andy the middle finger. Halfway through his swim to the mainland. We all loved it. Shannon, I can't see exactly his face because he's in the distance, but from his body language, he looks smug. He's doing side stroke. He's doing a safety stroke. He's picking an apple and putting it in the basket. Ando chugging along, but Shannon's getting so close to land now. Geez, if he blows it now, it'll be a real screw-up from him. He's on his back again, taunting Andy. Andy treading water. Andy, how you feeling?
I feel like I've lost this one.
Do you have a message for the convict?
Yes. Whispered to me as we took off that he had done a half marathon and then he ran away.
He now wades up onto the mainland. A free man! You've done it, Shannon! The beast! Well, Ando.
Yeah, as we later learned that he was a national backstroker back in the day.
Yes, he was not doing backstroke so he could keep an eye on Andy. He was doing it because he'd won world, or at least Australian titles.
Yeah.
So it's fair to say it was a familiar stroke for him. He'd also played water polo at the top level. A real win for the bigger men.
I agree.
Not enough guys. You don't see enough guys with Shannon's physique at the Olympics, and we want to see more of it.
HamishAndAndy.com.
We're making it sound like he's overweight. He's not overweight. He doesn't look like Peter Van Den Hoogen.
If you want to see the whale beat the tuna.
I mean, you look at Eamon Sullivan. He's doing Bonds ads. I want to see Shannon doing Bonds ads.
HamishAndAndy.com. The video's up. Happy hour. We did return to the People's Island last Friday with a First Fleet, a cross-section of the community that perfectly represented everyone involved in society.
And now, we had a bunch of different people on the fleet. We had the magical bagpiper, we had the cheerleaders, we had the fishermen, we had a psychology student, Ando, Nath. We had another psychology student. One of the cheerleaders was also a psychology student. We're like, geez, get a lot of psychology students on this show, because it reminded us we'd also previously talked to another psychology student on this show. We went, what's going on? How come we have so many different psychology students calling up and being part of this show? Well, the riddle was answered for us, Ando, when we realised that two of the psychology students we've interacted with on this show before are the same person.
We've been dadded.
We've been absolutely dadded and diddled. We took along psychology student Nath to the First Fleet, the People's Island, not putting two and two together, that this was the same young man we'd had on the show earlier in the year and offered the very first ever Hamish and Andy scholarship to.
Let's take you back now.
Nath, this is how the scholarship works. If you average above 75, you will win from your friends Hamish and Andy, who are keen believers in higher education.
Yes.
You will win a gold-coloured watch from the happy hour.
No way.
Yes, Wade.
So we tried to entice him to work better, work harder. He would receive the coveted gold-coloured watch, Ham, if he in fact got a score above 75.
And I think he sort of called us and he said, look, I'm distracted by my studies. I listened to the show. I think he was asking for a watch, and we said, obviously, you never get one if you ask for one, but we can make it an incentive for you. Now, we checked in with him, if my memory serves correctly, after his first semester.
Yeah.
He was not hitting the sweet 7.5 we needed him to be at.
Not at
we
all.
extended the scholarship. We said, all right, we'll make it, you get another chance. We'll make it about your second semester score. We then find out that the Nathan we took with us to the People's Island, the First Fleet, on Friday, was the same guy that was meant to be studying for his psychology finals.
Nathan, he joins us now. Nathan,
Hey, guys.
shame on you, first up. Great time last week, though. I mean, well done. But
Did you have fun on the island?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Well, you should have been studying, Nathan.
When's your exams, Nath?
I had one today.
Yeah.
I got one tomorrow.
So you were away, we were away for 2 or 3 nights in Rockhampton.
Drinking beers.
Mucking around on the island. I didn't see one textbook come out amongst the First Fleet. Did you do any study while you were away?
There was a bit of study on the planes. Not much. So.
Now, obviously, Nath, because we all just spent days and days hanging out, there was many opportunities for you to go, oh, hey, guys, funny story. I'm actually the guy who you gave the scholarship to. Now, you obviously deliberately decided to hide that info.
Yeah, I thought it'd be easier on you guys. I know you stressed a lot about it.
Yeah, we did. And
but to be honest, it was a good psychological experiment on the island. I mean, did I get some study done? Well, probably, by analysing everyone there.
No. You can't have meeting people as one of the subjects.
Well, they've got brains, and within brains is psychology.
Nathan, how do you feel you went today in the exam?
Quite well, actually, but it was an open book, so I just got to take all my notes in with me.
Nathan, give us a percentage chance of you reaching your goal.
Percentage chance of me reaching my goal is probably sitting around 50% at the moment, so 50-50 chance based on all my subjects.
Yep.
Yep.
And so probably a trip away wasn't the right type of preparation.
Well, yeah, maybe not.
Okay, that's all we wanted.
I do love that you hid it from us because you were worried we wouldn't let you go. If we found out you were meant to be studying, we were the captains of the First Fleet, but also your strict, studious parents.
Well, Nathan, good luck. Let's hope you pull a rabbit out of the hat on this one, like some of the magicians.
Hopefully we're sending you the gold-coloured watch, but you made the right choice because we can't take the island away from you. Thanks for being part of it.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Don't rush back to the books. Just make sure you go and meet some people at the pub. Is that study?
Probably. Today, Ham, was exciting to report that after the show finished, we went back to the People's Island on Friday's show. If you missed it, you can always podcast this show, HamishAndAndy.com. After that show completed, the caretaker of a neighbouring island said, "It's time to burn your island."
Yeah, you guys can burn it if you want. And we went, will it hurt it? And he said, no, it's actually the right thing to do environmentally. Had the permits, no animals on the island. Twice a year, they do set the island on fire to regenerate the vegetation.
Yeah.
We just happened to be there at around about the right time. So we went, of course we're going to set fire to the island. What a wonderful treat for the island and ourselves.
We were excited about that.
Probably too excited.
Yep, I was probably Kirk Russell. You're probably William Baldwin if you're going to go off backdraft the film.
Yes, haven't seen it. And I think that would put me firmly in the majority of the listeners. Huge film in 1989. And I'll make sure I get the VHS out this weekend and have a look at it. But Ando, I mean, maybe the excitement took over. I don't know. Maybe cool heads were certainly required.
Yeah.
But with all the fire, I found it very difficult to cool my head down.
Cool heads while our hands were holding hot stuff.
Yeah. There's definitely a trick to it too, which, I mean, of course, we've never lit fires before, so we didn't really know what to do.
You kind of rushed off. Didn't care to take a microphone or even pause. Didn't just forgot that
Red
you were
line
broadcasting.
Well, because Pete rushed off to light it. I was like, I got to get in on the action. I want to be there when the first fire's lit. I don't want to turn up and have the island burnt.
So we pick up the excitement where we have.
Oh, you won't hear me. I was very difficult to get a hand on.
All right, I've got my first bit of flame. I'm going off to a big grassy section over here. Here we go, and it is setting off. Like
what's this, mate?
A giant candle. Like a giant candle, Ham. It is absolutely setting ablaze. Look, it's just
Do you
taking
admit
up.
that your paper hasn't done anything?
Well, Ham, I'm trying to record something. Is that all right?
Some of us are getting light fires. Pete, is this a normal side effect?
That burnt arm you have there.
Yeah. I think I learned a valuable lesson about how quickly the wind can get you. So the idea here is we're regenerating the island?
We are. We're doing more good than harm.
And so, Pete, have we done enough? Will this now take over the whole thing?
Should do. As long as the nighttime moisture doesn't put it out.
Pete, I got to say, I'm astounded by how quickly it spreads.
My word. Yeah, it spreads like wildfire, actually.
Yeah, but I didn't really know what that meant till I was part of it, and so was my arm.
How many times a year are you doing this? Once. And you saved it for us?
Yeah, I did.
Thank you, buddy.
It's not often that you colonise an island and then torch it immediately, is it?
No, it isn't.
Well, maybe, Hayne, we go around the other side, start a couple more.
I'm going to keep this line going.
And then retreat back to the mainland.
Yeah, let's do it.
That'll be fine.
All right,
Thanks, boys.
Let's remember to do a head count, guys.
I will.
All right, Hayne, I'll try and send one across this way and meet in the middle.
It's up to the wind, but I like your enthusiasm.
Oh! This is the fun part. Yes, boy!
We've both got fairly scorched arms. Andy's learned the hard way.
I didn't learn from Hamish's mistakes earlier.
I just think I speak for all of us when I say just had no idea this was a thing, that you can burn an island. But we are seeing the People's Island absolutely go up in flames.
There you go. HamishNanny.com.
It hasn't, I mean, don't worry, we haven't become pyromaniacs from it. We can't stress enough that it was a permitted thing to do, and it was obviously with the encouragement of the government. We're not going to nick off to Great Keppel Island and set that on fire or go across to Ireland, the country, and start burning it down. Although, under the right circumstances, certainly some fun to be had.
HamishNanny.com. The photos are all there. There's videos going up from our whole travels.
And I wonder if we include any of the photos of, post the sun setting, when we were meant to retreat back to the mainland of just running around with the tops off, becoming wild men.
No, we leave them off, I think.
We might pop one or two.
Thank you for being with us today. A nice
Felt
way...
like we were doing a manhood retreat, like we're reconnecting with our fathers.
A nice way to complete the story of the People's Island. HamishNanny.com.
If you truly love it, burn it down.
We'll catch you tomorrow, everyone.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Hamish and Andy podcast. To contribute to the show, head to hamishandandy.com/topics.